Or that's how I would send it to.
See.
Ah, I see. I was trying to do it. I was like, how does this work? But now I know.
Now you know. What's going on, ladies and gents?
Gentlemen.
Welcome to the Tangents Podcast.
Yes.
You know what? I didn't. This is our backup audio,
Well,
and ironically, I didn't start the backup audio.
Ironically, we're going to have to snap our fingers live and
It's live.
recording.
Live. It's
Right
all,
now.
It's all live.
Yeah, you
Boom,
just
there
you
it
know
is.
you do that and you do that and you want to go
That's not-
and then you go like that and you just do
It's
it.
unnecessary. Sir.
Well, see, I
It's
got
not-
these headphones, so like I can't even hear anything.
It's not necessary. Anyway, we've already got someone jumping in full throttle. Echo. It's not on your headphones.
It's apparently headphones didn't kick in when I plugged it in. I gotta go change it. I gotta go change it over.
All right.
All right.
Can you, ironically, grab my phone so I can plug it in?
God damn it. Seriously, we're trying to do a podcast here.
This is how our podcasts work. This is the magic of the Tangents Podcast. You got to know this. Welcome, ladies and gents, boys and girls, children of all ages.
You know, to be fair, we've actually, ironically, this podcast happened because I was throwing some inspirational shit out there, and then the big guy here was like, "Hey, let's do a podcast," and I was like, "That's not a horrible idea."
Right. I don't think it's ever a horrible idea to toss
Podcasts are fun.
together a podcast. You never know what might happen.
You never know.
So the subject at hand. Oh, that's not even the right title. Oh, goodness gracious. Let's.
Are we not playing Overwatch?
We're not playing through the Steam library, certainly. We're also live on caffeine.tv. Of course, those listening and watching in the future, join us on caffeine.tv/T3G Media.
Live interaction. So if you want to tell
Live
us
chat.
we're stupid to our face,
Right.
you actually
if you
could.
really want to talk some shit, come see me.
You definitely can.
I might block you, I might ignore you, and get you kicked off the site. But
It just depends how
You do
far
what you gotta
it
do, I'm
depends
gonna
how
do what
far
I
they
gotta
go.
do.
You know, it
Of
depends.
course, yeah.
If they just say like, "I don't like your stupid face," I'd be like, "Well, I don't know why you're here. You're wasting your own time."
right,
That's your
this is
problem.
all about my stupid face.
Right. You know, so it's like,
Was Big Smoke in the building? What up, Big
Big
Smoke?
Smoke, man. I
What are
haven't
we
seen
calling
you
this?
in so
we're
long.
We're definitely not Steam playthrough. That's
Tangents.
what you're here
We'll just
for.
call
I'm
it
sorry.
Tangents. It's a podcast Tangents. Tangents
No,
podcast.
hashtag the Tangents
Podcast.
So we're talking. Oh, not talking.
I mean, to be fair, I don't even know what we're talking about.
Passion. Hashtag the Tangents.
Boom.
Boom.
Doing good, Big Smoke. Doing good.
Chilling, living life.
Chilling, living life, working a lot on the car stuff.
Right.
Trying to stay in the car. Had a lot of fun, actually. Ironically, today was a great. Well,
Yeah.
it was kind of like a good day and not a good day, right? So I started off the day not so good, right? I came in, I was like, I'm gonna work on my car, I'm gonna fix that rust,
that's
right?
true.
I got going.
I felt bad too.
Got that rust going. I was like, all right, this clean it out. And then I got to the bad part, and I'm like, this is not looking. And then holes came up, and I was like, my car has holes in it.
Holes in the car.
So it's like now I gotta find somebody that has either a shop that's very good with their fabrication, and is able to weld and stuff, and see if they're willing to cut that portion out for me and then put in a new piece of metal, or aluminum or whatever. I don't need it crazy painted, I just need it fixed so it doesn't get worse. Or it's time to part out the car and look for something new. We'll see. Who knows how that's going to work out. Hopefully it works out really good.
Big Smoke, to answer your question, I have not seen
I have not
Luke
either.
Cage.
I know
I'm
it's
watching
out. I haven't
Jessica
watched
Jones very slowly.
it. Because it's that hard to watch it.
No, I don't think so. I think
It's
I'm about
slow, man. It's,
3 or
the whole
4
season is
episodes
just-
in. I mean, it's not slow. I feel like it's not any differently paced than the first season. So to me, so far, not a big deal.
The only reason I watch is the only reason I watched it is the only reason I continued to watch Iron Fist, even realizing
Just to
how
watch
bad,
the whole thing?
just to know that there's a story there that will connect at some point
Right.
with everybody else.
Right.
So,
Yeah, that's kind of the position I'm in. I don't love Jessica Jones. I think I liked the first season. I didn't love it. I think it's still better than Iron Fist was, but
listen, Iron Fist is just a disappointment for a lot of different things.
Right.
You know, bad characterization of a character that's, you know, not supposed to be emotionally
disabled
to do shit. Yeah, and then also as well the horrible combat compared to, you know, Daredevil, which had amazing combat.
Terrible combat.
You know, I don't know how you get that wrong. How the Kung Fu series is horrible with combat.
Right.
Kung Fu series, but then you got Daredevil, who's supposed to be a boxer. You know that.
Yeah, really. I mean, he's not just a boxer, but at the same time,
right?
like,
Sure, but like his main thing.
He's not meant to be like the champion of a kung fu.
Right.
Tribe.
So like to get that wrong is kind of like, wait, what happened here?
Yeah.
Did you guys fall asleep at some point?
No, yeah. That's kind of. Kind of position.
Yeah, but going back to my day, so you know, car stuff, Big Smoke, it's keeping me busy. But like I said, so the bad was with the Nissan, the car that's supposed to be the track car at some point. But the good part is I did the mini challenge, which was literally driving Mini
fun.
Coopers on an autocross, and I ended up being number one for the whole challenge today. So. Ended up being the best, even against a guy that I found out after the fact was a SSCA autocrosser, which is, I gotta give kudos to myself. You know, sometimes you just gotta give kudos to yourself. There's always about being modest and not overconfident or cocky, and I don't think I'm doing that. I just have to be impressed with my own capability against somebody who has more seat time. So, you know. But that was a good.
Take the kudos where you can take it.
Yeah, you gotta take it where you can. So, but yeah, that's basically what I've been doing. I've been just staying busy, trying to make some gaming videos for T3G. I haven't streamed because I'm having issues with the 8350 streaming and gaming at the same time. It's doable, but it's not great, and I don't like that. I don't like when it's not at least decent enough where you can actually watch it properly.
Sure.
So I did get an Elgato, but now I need a second PC set up properly to be able to play.
Yeah, you
need
need another graphics card, and right now,
really, which is all I need.
Apparently, right now, a lot of the, which is, again, it's funny. We came in with the idea of talking about one thing, but now we're all over the place.
Tangents, man.
Hashtag
That's
tangents.
why I love it. I love the tangents.
Right now, apparently, a lot of the coins are decreasing in value.
Right, so the cards are going back to normal. You know,
yeah,
people aren't going crazy and
quickly.
You know, buying them out.
Possibly a good thing for overall.
Possibly.
So, Big Smoke, what we're talking about today, and I'm sure you can weigh in on this as well, since you've been pretty active. I see my notifications. I might not always be able to jump on, but I see my notifications about Twitch.
Yes,
I see Fennec Media jumping on, streaming on that Twitch.
Yes, sir.
So I know you putting in work. We're talking about passion. We're talking about
passion.
Getting away from the idea of following how many followers you have. Getting away from the idea of, man, like, am I growing fast enough? Is the
Do
channel
I have enough likes?
big?
Do people care about what I do and stuff like that? It's worried more about numbers than it is worried about the thing you're doing and actually enjoying it, which is probably the best way I can put it.
Right. Oh, so yesterday was the first time, right? I mean, to be fair, I hadn't cleaned out my inbox in a long time, so
right.
I may have seen from previous broadcasts.
I mean, very possible.
But no, yeah, there was a period of time where we were looking at numbers and we were like, oh man, like why does C3G not have X many subscribers? And the number doesn't matter, at any point if the numbers changed, we felt like we should have X, Y, Z, numbers as far as subscribers or views or whatever.
Right.
And I think it comes down to, you got to do what's really passionate, like what you're really passionate about. If you really want to make videos, you want to tell stories, which is kind of where I've finally gotten my head around, is that I really just want to tell stories, and however that's done. If I'm gonna sit down and write up, a short story, if I'm gonna sit down and write out a script, and that's how I'm gonna do it. But if I want to do a film, if I want to do a short movie, if I just want to do a clip, I came up with this silly idea that's similar to Jet Li's The One, if you've ever seen that. I came up with that, this concept, and I just started, like, I grabbed my phone and just started recording on the phone. And I'm like, this is like, the whole concept is that I'm just recording on the go, and it's whatever I have. So, like, the premise itself lends itself to the spontaneous nature of the filming style. So I'm psyched to kind of make that happen and see what I can do with it in the long run. But it's one of those things that I haven't given myself like a number, like I want to do this many clips or this many videos, or I want to do it in this amount of time. It's just like an idea that's kind of evolving, but I want to put the groundwork in now, because I want to be like, this is the idea I had, and this is where I want to take it. And then as that changes, as it evolves, I think you just kind of flow with it.
Yeah.
And then, when it comes to editing, it's going to be a challenge, because I'm going to be looking at stuff from the beginning of before I had the concept entirely, and that's going to be an interesting thing on its own.
100%, man. 100%.
So I'm just psyched to kind of do that. I just really want to tell stories. I just have so many concepts. Dude, I had the craziest dream. I was like hunting or trying to like investigate this woman who was, ironically, and this is kind of weird, but it's the woman who, like, for whatever reason, who's on, mind you, I haven't seen Jessica Jones season 2 in like 4 or 5 days. I haven't watched a single episode. But the woman that's playing the bad guy in like the first few episodes, I hadn't seen more of it.
Yeah.
So like the woman that's playing the bad guy, her mom, right? Which I say quotes because that's where I'm at. I'm at mom, and that was the end of the episode. And so she's like the villain in my dream, but like I'm investigating her, and she's like got this ability to just like appear out of nowhere, and she's like killed 5 people already, and I'm trying to like give her reasons as to why I'm cool, and I'm like not trying to kill her, but at the same time I am trying. And it was just like so weird, and the alarm went off, and I was like, I'm trying to go back to bed, I'm trying to go back to sleep, but like I really want to play this out, I want to play this whole story out. But then Erica's like, burgers? And I was like, I fucking hate you right now. like, yes, I do want burgers, but damn it, I really wanted to know how that played out. But like, you started talking, and it's over now. Like,
absolutely, man.
But I just really, stuff like that happens all the time. And like Big Smoke says, you got to do it to entertain and meet new people. And that's to me what caffeine is. Like, a lot of people are trying to go into broadcasting as a career, and more power to you. If that's what you want to do, put in that work, But to me, like, caffeine is so great because of live chat. I want to be able to just have that conversation with you. I want to be able to jump on and do some gaming or whatever. But like, to me, like, I'm even getting out of the excitement I had for Overwatch. Like, I'm just getting out of it. Like, I like it, I still like it, but I'm getting out of it. For me, it's more fun to like I spent more time on some tower defense stuff one night than I had in Overwatch in a couple days. Because I just get into it, I'm like, oh, this is so freaking cool, and it's like just little challenging stuff, and then I can have a conversation because it's just like puzzle stuff while I'm having a conversation. For me, it's the community.
No, absolutely.
I want to have a conversation with the people that watch more so than I want to be the best at Overwatch or be the best at whatever. I'd rather do a video where I talk about how bad I am at CS:GO than talk about, check out this badass play in Overwatch.
Yeah,
like,
absolutely.
Whatever. There's way better plays in Overwatch.
Well, that's what I'm saying. It's all about what you want to do and actually enjoying it. It's fine. The problem is like you start doing things that you're like, how do I get more views and more likes and more subscribers, and then you end up realizing that the content you created isn't as good because you were focusing on something else instead of the thing you should have focused on, which was to provide good content, to provide something you enjoy, which then translates to good content.
Absolutely.
When you don't enjoy it, then it's gonna look like you don't enjoy it. It looks like you just made a video and you didn't have fun doing it. And that's ultimately what's always gonna come into factor. So it's all about having fun with it, and then also at the same time properly enjoying it, so that way you can create that, so you can properly do what that thing is. If it's for me, if it's racing cars or if it's creating a video about it. That's why I haven't been, that's one of the biggest reasons I haven't been doing tech videos for myself, is because I enjoy tech. I really do. I really love tech, and even till this day, I look at computer parts. I'm constantly trying to figure out one day how to upgrade, move that cursor away because I can see it on the screen.
You can see it.
I can see, yeah, it was on your shirt.
Oh, weird.
So,
That's strange.
yeah, I don't know, but that's what it was. But I'm not making those videos because I'm not necessarily enjoying the type of video it would create, right? I'm not enjoying the process of it. I'm not enjoying reviewing that particular part. Like, yeah, it's a great part. Like, for instance, I was just telling you I love this mouse, right? And you said review, and I said, yeah, that wouldn't be a bad idea. But like, thinking about it, I'm sitting here, I'm like how do I? What would the things I'd want to say? For me, it's like, I don't know if I can properly do the job that I would want to with the product. And then knowing that, I'm like, well, that's already like, I'm not going to enjoy that process, right? Now, if one day I sit here and I've used it enough and I'm like, oh shit, like I know what I want to talk about,
right?
Then I start creating that product and I want to do it. So it's all about, just like my recent car videos with the upgrades that I've been doing to the car. I know what I want. I know why I got them. I know the reasoning for it, and I know how I wanted that video to come out, to turn out, and that's why I think they came out to be good videos, really good videos, in my opinion. I mean, obviously, there's always work here and there that I can improve on.
Sure.
But I really like how those videos came out. When I watched them, I was like, yeah, this is exactly what I had in my head. Maybe, obviously, a little better lighting or a little better voiceover with how I'm talking voiceover-wise. But I still enjoyed them greatly, and I was like, this is what I wanted to do. It was about my car. I wanted to mod it, which is two things I enjoy,
right? And
creating a video about it, which is another thing that I enjoy.
Absolutely.
So I put those together, and the videos came out how they should have.
Absolutely.
Where before I might have done something like, oh, this is car related, but maybe I didn't care to make a video about it. Like today, I could have went to the International Auto Show, but instead I worked on my car. I had more fun making that vlog about working on the car,
for sure,
than I did making another just montage car show video. So that's just, it's about, anytime you're not going to enjoy it is going to be realized in the quality of the video. Because it's going to be your attitude, it's going to be the flow of the video, it's going to be anything like that. Any part of that is going to interact, and if that happens, the audience, the people that are watching it, are going to feel that. And if they feel that, they're not going to most likely enjoy the video.
Right.
They're not going to hit like, or they're not going to hit subscribe, or they're not going to comment. So it just depends on how, you got to take an effect on how you're feeling, properly feeling towards that project you're doing.
Yeah.
Because if you're just doing it, oh, I want subscribers, I want money, I'm going to do this, but I'm not enjoying it, that's a bad idea.
Yeah.
It's not like, I can make a video.
We talked about this before. We were live on YouTube at one point, and our buddy of ours joined us just in our chat while we were playing, and he was like, oh, this is really cool. He's like, how do we get people to give us money? And I'm like, if that's your first thought, like, it's gonna be a failure.
Yeah,
you're gonna fail.
Yeah, or you're gonna be. Yeah,
that's
exactly.
not what this is about. That's not what the whole purpose of this is. The purpose is to get in a conversation. The purpose is community. That's why.
That's the point of streaming to me.
Yeah.
When you're streaming, I don't care if it's games or if it's a conversation with podcasts, whatever it is. If you're streaming, the reason you're doing it is because you want to have that live conversation with whoever jumps on and asks a question.
Yeah.
So that's, when I stream and I don't have anybody in chat, I don't talk, right? Because I'm not one of those people, like, I can have fun with the game without being talkative, right? I don't have to, like, lose my mind while playing the game. I don't have to, react to a situation on camera just to have talking. But as soon as somebody jumps in and starts talking with me, I'll talk back. I'll have a conversation with you while I'm playing the game. Whatever your questions are, You know, it's just like any other conversation. It's a back and forth. You ask a question, I'll answer it. You know, maybe I'll ask you a question. Hey, how's it going? How you doing? You know, what's going on? Where you from? Type of deal. But like, I can only do so much. You're seeing me. I'm not seeing you. You know what I'm doing. I don't know what you're doing. So if you're watching me, talk to me. You know, hey, you know, how much, you know, do you really enjoy this game? I haven't tried it out. What would you tell somebody?
Right.
Like stuff like that. You know, ask me questions. Ask me like, what do you think of this character? If you have played the game, whatever it is.
Right.
So you know, it's. I think that's the whole point of streaming. You know, you do streaming. Like you said, our friend was like, "Oh, how do we make money off of this?" It's like, "Oh, that's not." Like, yes, can you make money off of it?
100%.
Sure. But that's not why we were doing it. We were doing it to play games and hang out with people.
Right.
You know, we had you and me. Sure, that's fun. But guess what's more fun? When there's other people to join us in the same process.
Yeah.
Even if it's gaming with us or just shooting the shit while we're gaming and they're in the comments.
Right.
So, you know, that's the difference. That's the difference between, like, you and I, we did it to have fun. He was like, oh, how do we make the cash? I'm like, well, how do you make anything make cash? Like, but that's not the point. The point is if we're actually having fun and enjoying it. If we're not, it's going to be a shitty stream. Like, people are going to realize that just like recently, I think you remember the conversation, or Philly D was doing the whole, he was talking about how Jake Paul was going to be streaming, right? And
Right.
then the biggest thing about that a lot of people were saying is like, yeah, Jake Paul is all active and hyper in his videos because they're edited. But guess what? He's not on stream.
Right.
For 7-8 hours, he ain't hyper and active. He's that dude that's doing. Now,
Yeah.
how entertaining is that?
That's-
And
that's why-
is he communicating with his audience?
Yeah, that's why to
You know
me,
what I'm saying?
when I broadcast, my big thing is very much that I can and do get super into games.
Oh, me too.
If I'm like deep into it,
Yeah.
especially like if it's if it's a close smash in Overwatch,
100%.
I'm in this screen.
100%.
I lose.
Yeah.
I'm tunnel vision.
I'll tell you right now.
So that's why I'd rather play like weird games off the beaten path. That I'm just like, what the is happening? And I'm like looking everywhere for like the chat, anyone to give me an answer.
Well, that's the thing. I'm 100% there with you because I do the same thing. When I get into like, especially like competitive Overwatch, when I get competitive, when I'm like, we need to win, right? Because I don't want to lose my ranking. Then I'm at that point where I'm like, okay, well, we need to win, so now I need to figure out how to play better than the guy that's playing against me.
Right.
And so I'm into it. And then I won't see the chat, right? It's not that I'm ignoring it, but I'm so into it.
Right.
But if I play competitive like quick play, what does it matter? I mean, yeah, do I still want to win? Sure.
Yeah, to me it's just more fun.
But it's more fun because I don't have to win.
That's why I like arcade. I think arcade is super fun. It gives you different.
Absolutely. And then you can see if somebody says like, oh, do you play this character? Or, whatever it is. Whatever it is that they say, now you can say it, right? Now
I like
you can see
3v3
it.
because 3v3 to me is...
I like 4v4 better now.
Well, you like deathmatch. You like deathmatch in general.
Yeah, I've noticed that I actually prefer 4v4 way better than 3. 3v3 was my go-to until 4v4 was.
I just think you like deathmatch more than elimination style.
That's very possible because they have the 6v6 deathmatch too.
They have 6v6 elimination.
I thought there was a deathmatch now.
There's 8-player deathmatch, which is solo.
8-player. See, I don't enjoy that as much.
I think it's fun.
I like team deathmatch.
But you can definitely see when somebody is just like insanely better than everyone else. Because it's just like they'll be just showing out on the weirdest character. Yeah. Oh, Doomfist is winning.
Right.
Really, Doomfist.
Doomfist.
Amongst all the characters, Doomfist is winning just the whole, and he's at like 20 kills solo.
Right.
Everyone else is at 8.
Right. No, I know.
Yeah. How's this happening?
Somebody's
a pro. Somebody's grandmaster.
But no, I completely yeah, for sure. I mean, I do enjoy deathmatch, but I think I enjoy team deathmatch.
Team deathmatch is fun. I mean, team deathmatch to me is like classic shooter. That is what a classic
shooter, but
classic
I feel like it's still different.
Is.
It's still different though because the way Overwatch is as a game. The way
well, yeah. I mean, I just mean like in general. To me, like classic multiplayer has always been deathmatch, like 4 to 6 player deathmatch. that's like that. That's how I started on Halo. That's how I went into COD. Like when I got into like Destiny was such a weird multiplayer for me. Watch Dogs was the weirdest. Watch Dogs had this thing where you kind of like your games kind of like merge,
right?
And then like you look like a random person to them, and they look like a random person to you, but you both look like the main character to yourselves. Like it was such a weird setup for me, but like for me, the multiplayer in like Destiny, because it's technically an MMO,
right,
is weird. Because I want to just play the story.
I agree.
But then you get into the multiplayer stuff, and then like you have to jump into a raid, and I'm like, can I just play the story?
I agree.
And then you give me the Crucible.
I think that's
the Crucible is deathmatch.
I think that's why,
or
in my opinion,
whatever.
Warframe is better. Because Warframe is 100% about the multiplayer. You can do solo things, but it's definitely about the multiplayer. 100%. You can try to do a lot of the dungeons yourself, and you can accomplish.
And that's right. And to me, like that's where we differ. To me, it's not quite the same. I'm not as big a fan of like dungeon diving and like going through raids and stuff like that. That's why like when I was basically at the end of Warlords of Draenor, you were like, oh, I'm doing these these dailies and these dungeons, and I'm just like, meh. I'm done. Like I beat the last dude.
Yeah,
like
just
the story's done. For me, I would rather it kick you out of that area,
right,
and then you just go back to like normal crawling like Azeroth.
I mean,
like hey, you've completed this story. You go back now.
Right.
You're done.
Yeah.
Because like those servers are still running.
Right.
Like it's not like you don't have to go to Draenor if you don't have that expansion, right? So like you could always go to Dalaran.
I mean, yeah, you know
what I'm saying? So like
yeah,
what I would like in that game is if you get to that point and you're like, all right, cool, you've completed all the story elements. Would you like to do raid? Like, hey, would you like to hang out in this area and do raids and do your dailies here, or would you like to go to a high level area in wherever?
I see what you're saying.
I'm done with the story here. If I just want to fuck around,
I see what you're saying.
I can go. I'll go back to Dalaran. I don't care. I don't need because to me
it's actually
we spent
funny
a
you
lot
say
of
that.
time
It's
getting
funny.
that fucking getting that green bird, and I couldn't care less.
I really like my green bird though.
But I've spent the $12.50 or whatever for the golden dragon thing. So like I didn't care.
I mean, I guess that's
you know what I'm saying. Like
but
I got it, but I was like,
for me, it's about collecting
legitimately
them all.
the reason I got it right.
Pokemon.
But the reason I got it is because I was like, how do you have like 11,000 of the crystals or whatever? I'm like, I'm almost there.
Right.
Like really, it was just kind of like, well, you're doing it. You might as well.
Right.
Like I didn't really care, honestly.
I actually enjoyed it doing it with you. As soon as you stopped playing, I then was like, I don't really.
And that's the thing. Like, yeah, if you've got someone to play with, it's that stuff to me.
Which is why
Same
we
thing,
like
like,
streaming.
when I
it goes back into
exactly.
it all because we enjoy playing with
when
others.
I jumped on Destiny, I was super hyped to play the stories, but then it was like, well, to proceed with the story, you need X amount of this. To get that, you're gonna need to go down to the area that you just beat and find these little sensors,
right,
and like do these little side bullshit missions to collect enough of whatever the fuck,
right,
so that you can go to the moon.
I do want to say something. Kind of playing off gaming. This is going into tech. Tangents, baby.
Tangents.
Right now.
By the way, if you're not aware, youtube.com/T3G Media is the main channel, and that's where we do our tech stuff. This is just
cons.
This is where we just get our word vomit out.
Yeah, we like to talk a lot.
Right.
People told us constantly.
I really
They're
want
like, you should just put this on camera, and I'm like,
I came up. By the way, I came up with a new podcast.
Oh, did you came up with
a new
like
podcast. a new podcast.
So you wouldn't call it Tangents?
No, I wouldn't.
No.
This would be the first person reporting of a dude who woke up one morning and like shit was the same, but it wasn't the same because he was in the Marvel universe.
So it's
but it was 1995.
So it's
in the
kind
Marvel
of playing
universe.
off of our now my only favorite podcast besides ours, Tavern.
Oh, Hello from the Magic
Hello
Tavern.
from
Yeah, it's similar.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
But to me, it's
Hello
always been like I've always had these like storylines in my head of like these
I
fanfic
got
stories where like I meet the X-Men, and I'm like, what if I woke up one morning and like everything seemed normal? You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, walk around, I'm like, something's not quite, you know, working for me. And then, you know, you check the news, you know, you swipe over
Here's
to
the thing.
Google, and it's like, the X-Men destroyed downtown New York. You're
Here's
like,
the thing.
what
I
the
do that
fuck?
podcast with you if I was good with
Improv.
but I'm not an improv guy.
Right.
So you would need somebody, like you would need the tavern guys. Be like, let's improv, come on.
Donuts, welcome to the
Come on,
broadcast.
come
How
on.
are you doing today? We are talking passion, but then also lots of other things because this is the Tangents.
Tangents. So it's just like
That's
you know,
what we do.
what the word means. We go everywhere, but the main focus.
That's what we do. And I'm looking
is
here
about
because that's where
passion.
you're talking, but you're here.
You're
You see me
here.
So welcome. How are
But
you?
you're here, and you're here, and you're here. You're everywhere. So back to what I was going to go to.
Yeah.
So it's gaming going into tech.
Right.
The RX 550 right now, 4 gig card. It's $130.
Card better than the card you have now.
Not better than my 480. That's an 8 gig card. That's a badass card. That was literally it just got refreshed to the 580. I have though in my rendering computer.
Oh, but it's better than this one.
Right, but in
This
my
is the 380.
yes, because that's a 4 gig card, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, they didn't. I don't think the 380 was a 8 gig at
No.
the time. But the rendering PC only has a 2 gig card, but it's good enough for the Elgato. So put the 2 gig card for the Elgato,
Yeah.
the 4 gig for the rendering.
For sure.
Bob's your uncle. I don't know why is that a saying.
We're going to need a fact check on that. Why is Bob's
Can
uncle's-
somebody tell us?
I mean, like,
why
we're literally on
Bob
3
is
computers
your-
right now.
Yeah, we are computering it up right now.
I don't even know why we're
is
asking someone else to
somebody
do it.
tell me. Somebody, I'm too lazy to Google search it myself.
Bob's your uncle.
Bob's
Let's
your
see.
uncle, because I don't have a Bob uncle.
Exclamation that is used when everything is all right, and that means, and the simple means of obtaining the successful result is explained. Wow. Let's see. What it says unknown origin. That sucks.
Ah, come on. The oranges are uncertain, but a common theory is that the expression arose after conservative Prime Minister Robert Bob Cecil appointed his nephew Arthur Balfour as Chief Secretary for Ireland in 1887, an act which was apparently both surprising and unpopular.
Whatever other qualifications Balfour might have had, Bob's your uncle was seen as the exclusive one.
That sucks.
Like, so I got the
Bob's
job,
your
and
uncle.
Bob's your uncle.
No, Bob's your uncle. That's good.
That's
That's
fantastic.
good. I'm gonna go with that. That's where it started. We're
Yeah.
gonna go with that. Your Bob's your uncle.
Fucking Bob. Bob's always messing it up for people.
But yeah,
Hashtag
so
nepotism.
hashtag. That's why I spend so much money is because I enjoy my passion.
Right.
Is
yeah.
that a good excuse? I feel like that's a decent.
I don't think
excuse.
I don't think it's an excuse. I think whatever you're passionate about, and if that's what you're pursuing, I think you
I mean, you
invest
have
in
to.
yourself.
You have to.
invest in
Yeah,
yourself.
I'm investing myself. Right.
Listen, right here is $2,000.
Right.
I have no qualms about
Right
that.
here is 0, and right here is 32.
Right, but I'm saying, like, right here is $2,000, but like, how much have I gotten done with this? How much work have I
Right.
gotten
That's
done
what I'm
with this?
talking about.
It's worth it.
Right.
It's
I mean,
worth it 100% of the
This
time.
was a gift from you, a generous gift.
But
from
even
you.
then, it's
but
a
you
$600
used it.
laptop.
But here's the thing.
I used it for 3 years.
Right, but you used it.
Yeah.
Right, you got use out of it. Now I'm using it. Now it's obviously not a great laptop to necessarily edit video on, but it's a good to go, thin, lightweight laptop that I
Right,
can
and that's
use
and that's
to what I
and
need
that's
to
that's
do for
literally that's literally the difference. Is the only reason I'm not using it still. I want a 15-inch
now. Right.
screen.
Yeah,
for
at
editing,
100%. Yeah.
and like that's
Which,
it.
speaking of, if you guys
I just
are
didn't like
interested
it. I just
in,
didn't like
if
it,
you're
man.
interested in what our favorite laptop at the moment is, I don't know why they would be, but just in case you are,
Sure.
we actually found this laptop by accident. I think we were just on YouTube. I saw somebody like, "Hey, I'm reviewing this."
Oh,
It ended up being
I know what you're
badass.
talking about.
You know what I'm talking about. I'm gonna find it real quick.
I
Hold on.
can't think of the name though. That's sad.
I'm gonna think of it right here. Digital Storm.
Digital Storm, yes.
Digital Storm.
Yes.
It is honestly if you compare it to its equals
It's the best
in other companies.
$2,700 you'll ever spend.
for $1,800. It's the
$1,800.
best $2,700 you'll spend for $1,800.
Right.
That's the funny thing, because
Yeah.
to get an
It's
equivalent
an outstanding deal.
with any other company, you're gonna spend almost another $1,000. So, and it is
For just the brand name. For it to say Asus, or for it to say Mac.
And it's the Equinox 15-inch. It is a 15-inch display, 4K, 16 gigs of RAM, upgradable hard drive if you want to do it yourself.
Right.
Plus, so 2.5. Plus, it has an onboard M.2.
Right.
Single gigs and a 1070 GTX card with 8 gigs of RAM on it, and
It's an outstanding
144 hertz monitor. I'm sorry, it's 144 hertz display monitor. I don't think it's 4K though. Regardless, worth it. $1,800. That literally from Razer, that's those same specs is like $2,600 or something.
$2,600
Like
because
and then
it's got
from
the Razer,
Apple,
Razer badge on it.
and from Apple, it's like $2,700.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm gonna go with that. That's our new favorite laptop. That's a tangent.
That's 100% tangent.
But I
But
figure
again,
we were talking tech.
But again, that's investing in yourself. If you
If you want a gaming, editing, whatever on the go, this is the way to do it.
I'm still committed to doing.
Yes, do everything on a
donuts
desktop
If you're
if you
not
have a
familiar,
desktop.
Donuts. If you're not familiar with us, we do YouTube.com/T3G Media. That's our main channel. We do tech and filming and some gaming stuff there. Most all our streaming is done here. All our broadcasting is done here, but we do some like
I do
highlight videos and stuff like that.
Twitch. I do Twitch.
Yeah, you broadcast on Twitch.
I mean, I haven't in a while. We're working on that. We were just talking about that. We're working on that.
But you upload to YouTube afterwards.
YouTube, yes.
And we do all sorts of stuff there. But I started a series last year where I turned 33 the year before, and I said I want to see the whole country, at least a couple spots. We're in the U.S. Every state I want to see at least 2 spots. So we started the series. We've been to 2 spots already. We've been to St. Louis, and that was a fun trip.
That was a fun trip.
And we went to
It could have been better. We've talked about
Southern
that. But
Wisconsin, so not too far. We're in the Chicagoland area. But it was dope because I didn't even know there was a Harley Davidson museum. So like we went to that.
That was a
But I'm
dope
super
time.
dedicated to this, and I was looking at something like I want to go to the Keys. And I was like, the dopest thing would be to take a drive there. And if I'm taking a drive there,
You hit a lot of places.
A, I'm gonna hit a lot of places. B, I'm gonna get some nasty drone footage on that bridge.
Nasty drone.
It's gonna be dope.
Dude, that bridge
is nasty.
is scary but awesome.
I'm so
Because it's
psyched for
scary. Because like if your fucking car stops,
Well, dude, no. There's a whole bunch of stuff.
there are stops. I know. I've been on the bridge. I
Yeah.
went to the Keys from Miami.
But it's like a 4-hour drive.
It is. It is.
Yeah, it's like a
it's a bit
solid
of a
4
drive.
hours.
I will say this, man, and I know I get it because it's the Gulf water, so it's warm. But that water was warmer than it was outside at night at like 11 o'clock.
I don't doubt
I
it.
stepped in and I was like, dope. What? I was waiting, like, stepping.
Yeah.
I'm like, it's gonna be cold. It's gonna be cold. I put my foot in. I'm like, it's what? Like, it didn't make like. I was so. You gotta understand. I was just in. I was in high school.
Yeah,
just
yeah.
almost about to graduate. So
For sure.
like, never been down south. Never been to Keys, Florida. Never been in warm water territory. So the fact that there was warm water was weird to me.
Right.
Let alone the fact that it was warmer than outside, which was already pretty warm. So.
Right. But what I was saying is, A, we're gonna get some nasty drone footage.
Nasty
B,
drone.
when I get into the Keys, that will have already been a 2-day trip.
Yeah.
I'm gonna want to edit.
Yeah.
At the very least, I'm gonna want to edit a vlog.
Yeah.
So like, I don't want to edit. Like I said earlier, I don't want to edit on 13 inches. I just don't.
It's not fun, man. I'm telling you right now.
I've done it.
I
When
do the
when
photos.
I was doing the daily vlogs, I did this in Minnesota.
Well, when
It
I was in
mind-blowing.
just recently at Grid Life in Michigan, I did the photos on here, and don't get me wrong, it wasn't horrible, but I'm telling you right now,
With Photoshop or
with Adobe Photoshop.
Photoshop's demanding. Though.
But here's the thing: I was like, I wish it was a bigger screen. I can't see all the details that I normally see on a bigger screen.
Right.
And so it definitely is a.
It's a trade-off.
If I could, I mean, here's the thing, but then you're adding extra things. But if I could travel with a bigger monitor that I can externally connect, that would be phenomenal. But then you got this whole extra thing you're carrying. Where with a decent monitor size, at least a 15.6, whatever its size is, it's a little better. It's additional 2 inches. It's gonna be better than a 13 inch.
For sure.
So
plus, if you get something like a 4K, you're gonna get a lot more detail.
yeah, absolutely, more real estate with the 4K. Absolutely.
But that's what I'm saying. So like, you know, yeah, it's $1,800 for a laptop, but if I get to the Keys, if I get to the West Coast and I drove there,
That's what I'm saying.
I want to edit.
Yeah, 100%.
I don't want to have to. I don't want to have to have like 4, 5, 6 cards worth of material to then have to go through when I get back home. That's gonna be insane. I'd rather record a bunch of stuff and then I'm like, oh, this was a garbage clip, or this was, why do I have 30 photos of this duck or whatever?
Right.
Let me delete all this. A, free up space. B, I've reviewed this. I don't have to then, when I get home, you know, like we go to the conventions. And I've hit record on accident so many times. And I just get people's legs as I'm holding the camera down while we're talking to someone.
Fun. That's always
and
fun.
I'm just like, why is this clip 5 minutes long? Oh, because I just was recording legs.
I was still recording.
Just recording legs. Okay. Yeah. So it's 100% investing in yourself. And I think like Gary Vee talks about that all the time. Like, invest in yourself. Like, if you believe in what you're trying to do,
right,
you're gonna spend money there.
Yeah,
that's, you know, he talks to people, and he talks about it on a large scale. Like, people talk about like, oh, I'm gonna buy, you know, like the Mets or whatever,
right?
And because he wants to buy the Jets, and people always like come at him with that, like, I'm gonna buy the Clippers,
right?
And he's like, cool, but I saw your Instagram, and you just bought a brand new car. And you just bought this, you just bought that. Like,
you're not buying.
You're never gonna buy the fucking.
You're
Clippers.
not buying them anytime soon, if ever.
You're never gonna buy the fucking Clippers because you're spending your money on bullshit.
Right.
Like, if you want to get, like, if you have an actual desire to do something specific, you're gonna invest in that.
So,
and that's why, like, I have shifted very heavily away from, like, I don't buy movies anymore, almost at all. Like, I used to want to have, like, all these like, no joke, I had, like, on my Amazon, I mean, shit, not even, you know this, you've seen my wish list. I used to have, like, a Sam Jackson wish list. I used to have a Nick Cage wish list. Deleted all those. I don't care. I want to collect comic book and fantasy movies, and even that to, like, a small degree, like, if they have super cool collector's editions, like that Batman, you know, Blu-ray, super special, dope.
Right.
But, like, otherwise...
Well, it's funny
I
you
can
say
stream it. I can, you know, there's 100 ways to watch it.
Well, I was telling you about the Matthew McConaughey thing I shared on, you know, his speech. And funny enough, part of that speech is talking about figure out who you're not. And then you'll know who you are. Yeah. So that plays into also doing the thing that you enjoy, right? So he says, you know, you gotta, like, for instance, for me, I don't party. I don't drink. I don't care to own the Mets or a team. Right. You know what I'm saying? But I know the thing I do care about. I enjoy greatly. You know, it's right under my main passion, which is creating videos. And my main passion is the cars, racing. And so I put those two together, and that's what I know. That's what I want. And as soon as I figure that focus out, all my time, all my money on my days off from my regular job is into that. And even on my days that I'm working my regular job, I'm posting photos on Instagram. I'm trying to release videos if the video is done and edited. I try to edit the video if I can have enough time. I work 10-hour days, so, you know, it can get long. But I know who I am. I know what I want. I know what I want to pursue, where I want to be at, and so that is what my time is spent doing. Right. So you have to figure out who you're not, who you are, and then put all your effort into that. So, you know, and don't get me wrong, some people are very happy with 9-to-5 jobs. Kudos to them. I am jealous of those people.
There's an incredible, I think, like, incredibly misinformed movement where a lot of people, and specifically a lot of these motivational people, are talking about, like, oh, you got, you know, you should start your own business and you know, do things on your own and strike out and you know, do this and, you know, do crafting or do what. You don't have to.
You don't have to.
No one should have to do something they don't want to do.
You enjoy the job
and that goes across the board.
Yeah, absolutely.
No one should have to do something they don't want to do.
No.
If you got to pay the bills, you got to pay the bills. But then, you know what? You work 9 to 5, cool. 6, 7 o'clock. You have family, cool.
Right.
7 o'clock to midnight. Put some work in.
Yeah.
Put some work in on the side.
Yeah, on the thing that you want to do.
Exactly.
Yeah. And like, for instance, I mean, for the longest time, me and you both have done it, right? I started drawing. I liked it, but wasn't a thing that I wanted to do 24/7, right?
Yeah, I identified that I was never going to be production quality
right?
for my level of like how much I want to be. And I was like, cool, I can make some concept stuff, but that is the borderline.
Right, that is the border. Right. And I didn't want to invest that time anymore into it. Me and you.
I just haven't.
Yeah.
I just haven't.
On camera, baby.
I just pulled a dollar
camera.
Board. I just pulled a dollar board.
This happens, by the way, every time we eat.
For those listening, I have.
He has this. It's a.
I have several holes in my mouth.
How can I say this? If it doesn't happen, something went wrong. But so for the so I did the drawing thing, and I was like, okay, that's not my thing. The T3G thing, right? I enjoy the gaming stuff way more than like trying to make myself do a review on a product that I don't want to do a review on.
For sure.
Right? It's not that I don't enjoy the product, but I don't necessarily enjoy making that video.
Yeah.
So
and we were just talking about the same thing. Like I don't. Like, I watch, like, a Marquez video. I watch, like, Your Average Gamer, you know, or Your Average Consumer.
Consumer, thank you.
You know,
yes.
I watch these videos.
And they make good quality videos.
I was like, it's fucking great.
Yeah.
You did a great job. You know, and I watch a bunch of different people who do different stuff. Unbox Therapy and all that kind of stuff. And it's like, cool, I dig that.
Yeah. But
I want to do different stuff. I don't want to do... Like butter, I don't need a butter smooth pan.
Doesn't need to be.
Like, I want to tell you if it works.
Right.
I want to tell you, like,
100%.
Like, I can tell you this thing took a dive.
Yeah, it
and
did.
It's
legit.
Still a champ.
So did this one.
So did this one. Both still champs.
Kudos to you, Canon. Even if I have problems with
Canon produces beefy products.
They do, and apparently weather resistant, because I took that one. Well, not that one. The one that's in my bag. In rain, and I recorded car footage. I took that shot.
You were braver than me.
And I just found out from a guy that I watch about car stuff, he specifically said that Sony isn't weather resistant like Canons and Panasonics are. I'm like, well, that makes sense why my shit didn't break, because it's weather resistant and it just rained enough to where it should be resistant and not waterproof. So it's weird. I don't know how it works. But
how do you open the thing at the top?
It's a button. There's a flash button. You have to push it when it's on.
Oh, so on. Flash button.
Give me. Oh, it's right here. Oh, that should have done it.
Oh, maybe I have to switch over.
Oh, you're on video. Yeah,
that's
on video.
Okay.
That's fine.
I'm just looking at like where the liquid could have gotten in, kind of thing.
Yeah, I don't know, but listen, regardless, I took that chance. Good Canons, but yes, I agree with you. You want to make they don't have to be crispy, right? That's what they talk about. They talk about that crispy,
and that's cool.
footage.
And that's cool.
And don't get me wrong, it shouldn't be right.
Crispy.
But here's the thing: it doesn't have to be that type of video. Yes, are those good, very well written, worded videos? Yeah, 100%. But that's not necessarily what everybody wants to see.
No.
Somebody doesn't necessarily want
videos like what I'm doing now with the Ultimate Battle Station.
Somebody necessarily doesn't want you to.
Desk,
that's what I'm saying. Somebody doesn't necessarily care for you to be scripted. Then it maybe makes it feel like somebody told you to write some things. You know what
I
I'm
don't
saying?
really. Yeah.
I'm not nothing against them. No. I know they don't usually take sides. They will talk both good and bad about a product.
100%.
You know, so that
100%.
It's not. But sometimes to some people that might not be favored, right?
Yep.
And so do your own thing. You want to review tech, sure. Doesn't have to be like them. Doesn't have to be like Linus. It doesn't have to be like any of them.
Linus is a character, man. I can't.
He is a character.
I can't really
he gets away with a lot.
I can't get a beat on him. Like, I don't know.
He'll talk shit about anything.
He'll talk shit about anything, but like he's so animated in so many ways that it's difficult to really. Like, when I first saw him, I'm like, oh, this guy's just like a hyper nerd. He wants to talk about
hella tech,
like benchmarks and like.
And I mean, he
resistance.
He talks hella tech.
Yeah,
he does some
like,
crazy.
He does deep dives, but at the same time, like lately he's just like he's been a little clowny, like just, and I think it's getting more and more. I think as the company grows and as it kind of becomes, not to say becomes more independent because they have their own warehouse.
Sure.
They've been independent,
Right.
You know, we can hope to be as good as big as Linus.
Yeah, I mean, like, I like the guy, all right? We're not talking shit about him. I actually enjoy Linus for what it's worth, okay?
But I just, it's like, I don't know.
It's
hard to get a beat on him just because I don't know. And I guess that's kind of the difference, right? You have people like, you know, Team Crispy and everyone kind of around that.
Right.
You have, but even then, like, you have, like, Austin to me is different than Team Crispy. Like, he
does the crispiness.
He's within that
but he
circle.
is definitely different.
He's within that circle, but at the same time,
he has his own thing.
He does these videos and like, again, not sure if I like the style. I still like the content, but it's like for a while he had those like straight on shots with the like live background and that big bench. But now they also do these like angle shots where like you see the lighting behind him, and I'm just like, I don't know like what aesthetic you're going. Like it feels like initially like the main shot feels like you're going for like the Team Crispy, everything set up nicely in the background, but then it's like B shot, lighting pole, you see the mic, and I'm just like, what are you going for exactly?
Yeah.
I don't really care. I'm just trying to figure it out.
Yeah.
It's dope because I really like the fact that he's trying different stuff.
I agree.
Initially, it was like dead on. Hi guys, my name's Austin. I was gonna raise my voice, but I'm like, that feels like a dick move.
That is a dick move. I'm glad you didn't. That is a dick move.
Like,
you did good.
And he like, you know, he kind of had the Team Crispy presentation. Like
he
boom,
did. Yeah.
Like boom, pans,
Can I
fades, kind of the classic Team Crispy stuff. And then, but like I said, I think he's like diverging, kind of getting his own little style to it, and I think people are having fun with it. And I like his new segments where it's like, I gave my camera guy $100, you know, on Amazon. Let's see what he came up with, and just like opening up weird shit. Like one day he opened up a Walkman, and I was like, the weirdest shit to open, but cool.
Can I say something though about him? That man. I'm a little jealous of with his capability of doing a tech video, a computer, like where he's suggesting a computer build, like comparable pricing. He does that shit in like 4 minutes, but he does it so well done. Like the way he presents it, you feel like it's gonna be like he does it, and you're like, this is like a 10 to 20 minute video for anybody else, but how the hell would you compact it to 4 minutes? Like, he just does it so well, man. It's something about him.
He's killing it.
He's killing, man.
And I think everyone kind of has their own lane. I've been talking
but
a
I
lot
think
of
that
shit
goes
lately, whereas I feel like a lot of people, like specifically in the Team Crispy crowd and like related people, I'm sitting there and I was like, you don't work in that room.
Right.
That's too, like, this is what a real tech room looks like.
I know, because there's shit
everywhere.
Is on
And I'm
point.
just like, you are in that room once a week to record that video, and you don't even.
But here's the thing. But
you
here's the
don't live
thing.
in there. You don't exist.
But here's my thing. Here's my counter to that. Okay. But if their passion is tech and having a clean tech place, what if they do focus on that? Outside of making the videos, they're like, this needs to be crisp, clean. When I use it, this is what I use here. It's clean. It's set up. I know.
Like, I think, like,
you know what I'm
when
saying?
you see those behind the scenes, but look at it. But when you see those, sometimes it's framing. Sometimes it's the way you do the video. You look at something like a MKBHD video. I've seen the behind the scenes videos at MKBHD. It's not crispy. There's shit everywhere.
Right, yeah.
But like the place is so big,
it's huge.
That you just frame it right.
By the way,
and it looks
kudos
great.
to that man for starting at the age of like
9.
Yeah, whatever it was, and
9
now
or 12 or
look at
whatever.
him. He's got great videos.
Yeah.
He's very
Eloquent.
yes, good. I like that. That's a good one.
He's
Yeah.
incredibly eloquent. I
Incredibly.
like how he presents material. Like, regardless of what he's talking about,
It doesn't
I'm just
matter.
Like, he's talking about like.
Did you see him on Hot Ones?
Yeah.
That's just like the man is just like in mode every time.
No joke. I was like, I swear to God, you're reading a script.
Right?
I was like,
unless his brain is the
like,
script. His brain is the script.
Serious. I'm like, how are you just you're just in the fucking zone.
Yeah, he's
like,
eating spicy ass wings.
Like I've watched like the baddest people
Right.
come through and they're just crying.
Yeah.
Or they're like, fuck this.
He's like, ooh, that was
He's
hot.
like,
But
he's like, all right, we're in here.
we're in here. But
I
they're
was
like, it's like a
I was
man.
motherfucker. Like,
He's
how
good.
are you doing
He's
this?
good. He's good. He's good, as they say.
Like
But,
I like DeFranco. Like I'm a big fan of DeFranco, but DeFranco's like, ha 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 ha.
Yeah. Like it was getting them. Like
Right.
he was like, it was taking up. But like Marquez was like, no, I'm good, bro. I
Yeah.
mean, like it's spicy.
You know,
It's spicy.
he reminded me of when oh my God, what's his name? The scientist.
Oh,
Oh my God.
the Grace.
Neil deGrasse Tyson.
Yeah, thank you.
Neil deGrasse Tyson. I
Yeah,
feel like that's
I
correct.
feel like that might be correct.
I need you to look it up. Fact check that for me. Anyway, so like,
That is correct.
yeah, Neil deGrasse Tyson was on there, and he's just like going through it. He's answering questions like bam, 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 and like,
I felt
and
like
at the end, he's he gets to theirs, and he's like, like I get that pineapple. He's there, and the guy was like, oh my God.
But here's the
yes,
thing: I
thank
have
you.
that sauce, and I don't taste the pineapple.
Yeah, but he said it. He said it right at the beginning. He's like, I have a discerning palate.
I mean, I understand that.
And it just reminded me, like they're like their cadence, like they're so on point. Like I think Neil deGrasse Tyson is just so he's just about his shit. Like he knows his shit.
Yeah, of course.
So like everything he was talking about, cool, whatever.
100%.
This is just bonus.
Right.
He's like, I love
Yeah,
this shit.
Yeah.
And he
Well,
was
that's
killing
the-
it. And then at
and-
the end, he was like, and I was like, 10 fucking hot sauces, and you get a.
Here's the thing, man.
I
but-
cry. I had a hot burger today, and I cried.
Yeah, I cry.
Like, can I be on hot
Can
ones?
I-
Just so
right?
you want me on hot ones just to see a grown man cry.
Girl, man, cry.
No, I'm gonna keep going.
Like, who are you? It doesn't matter. Just let's.
3 of it like.
I
delicious.
wanna do the one they had last year. They got rid of it. It was one of the hot sauces. It was
Theirs or
no, it wasn't theirs. It was one of the other ones. It was like a blueberry hot sauce, and Charlize said it was very tasty. It was very, and you know me, I like tasty over insanely spicy and like barely any space,
Right.
Any taste.
yeah. That's why I want to get the last dab because they said.
Even though it's crazy
spicy.
spicy.
Everyone that jumps on is like, oh, this is spicy, but the flavor is really good.
Right.
And I'm like, I'll do 200,000 fucking Scoville units
And
it's
cry
tasty.
and scream as long as it's tasty.
Tasty.
Yeah.
I'll put that shit on breakfast.
But
I'm telling you, you go to Roosters.
yeah.
They have a honey.
You told
it's
me
called
they have
Honeybee.
they have like their own thing.
I don't know if it's their own thing, but they
But they-
have a
right,
bunch of hot
sure.
sauces. But they had a honeybee and it was like $5, and I was like, yeah, I'm gonna buy this.
I want to try this. What is it? The spicy honey. It was on the hot ones when he went to all the different pizza
Hashtag
joints.
tangents. Now we're talking about spices.
Mike's
about hot
hot. Mike's hot honey.
Mike's hot honey. Okay.
Mike's hot honey. Man, what were we talking about? I was talking about something. Oh, I was gonna say
Marquez.
Marquez, man. One, that's how you know that's a person that is all about their craft, right? His craft isn't just reviewing tech and knowing tech. His
Yeah.
craft is also speaking.
Yeah.
It's about presentation, and
Yeah.
he presents himself
Yeah.
the way he presents his videos.
Dude, the greatest compliment someone paid me once is when we were at C2E2 and we talked to the Twisted Dark guys.
Yeah, I remember
And he
that.
said, "Are you on TV or on radio? Because you're very charming." And I was
Yeah,
like,
I remember that. I remember that.
"Thank you."
Yeah, I remember that. That was pretty cool. Yeah.
I was just like, I'm like that. You know what? That makes me feel incredible.
100%.
I'm like that kind. It like validated. I'm
Absolutely.
I feel like I'm comfortable on camera and on audio. But it was just like to have someone tell me,
Right.
like, hey, like you're real, like charismatic, or like, are you
I mean,
on radio? Are you on TV?
I mean, but
like,
you remember me. I hated cameras. I hated cameras. I
Yeah.
want to be on cameras.
Yeah.
I could barely record a video with you standing in the same room.
Yeah.
And now it's like, let's just do it. Because you get over it. You start doing it.
Yeah.
Because one, I wanted to do it. I wanted to create videos.
Yeah.
And two, I understood that I needed to be on camera. Otherwise, people people need to connect not just with an object but with you as well.
It's
and
about
you need to be yourself.
It's about. I think it's more about the person.
Absolutely, because
I
there's gotta
like
be a connection.
I like hearing. I could read 1,000 opinions on the new
of course.
Android OS,
But
I like to
but
hear.
you're reading. You're not seeing
I like
a person.
to hear. I like to hear Marquez's take on it.
Exactly.
I like to check out Tim Schofield's view on things.
100%.
You know, and that's another one. Like Tim Schofield's local. Tim Schofield's local to the Chicago area. That's somebody I came across with. I came across that channel randomly. It was very interesting to find someone who's local. The only reason I knew he was local is I Googled him on Facebook or something, and then I saw that his Twitter is like QBKing99. But when I looked that up on Facebook, because I was looking for his his YouTube Facebook page, but that pulled up his personal thing in Facebook search, and it was like something. It wasn't Lake Park, but it was like one of it was like Schaumburg High School, or like Hoffman Estates, and it was Hoffman Estates High or whatever. And I was like, oh shit, like he is right around the corner.
Right around the corner.
So that was dope. But like he's got a very, to me, I think if you first watch him, and I think I also had kind of the same interpretation initially. He's kind of very dry in his delivery, but he's very clear in what he's talking about. Like he covers a lot of stuff that, like to me, like especially he does a lot of the Android betas, and he goes into like here's all these different changes, these little tiny things that you might not even notice. And so like when I installed beta on the secondary phone, because kids, if you don't know, if you're new to T3G, hashtag beta might not be for you.
Beta might not be
Jackass.
for you.
Because I installed the beta on my secondary fucking phone.
Beta might not.
He installed it on his Pixel 2, and on the Pixel 2, it changes the home button to a bar, and you swipe.
Right.
So it's kind of got the iPhone 10 swipe thing.
It had mine did that too until I realized in the settings that I had the option to switch that back.
Right.
So because mine did that the same thing.
But he did it on his Pixel 2, and then I was like, I'm like, oh, that'd be interesting. Well, let me try out some of these new features. And like he went to a lot of detail, and I was like, I would never, like, it would have taken me a month, 2 months of use for me to realize that like the icons and the settings are colored now.
Right, absolutely.
Like I would never, like that's not something I would do. So it's like cool to watch people like that who go into like really detailed stuff, like that really minute, that you just kind of get used to it. You're using
and now we go back into enjoying what you do, right? Yeah. It's funny how we got back there because you say that, right? He is a person that enjoys going through all those different things to realize what's new, what's different, what's changed, how it works, right? He enjoys that. For me, when I do tech reviews now, I enjoy cases. Why? Because I enjoy the little changes that might benefit me more when I'm building a system might be more practical and easier than messing with somebody that
also for those listening, there will be a new case review coming
soon. Yeah, I'm excited. I want to do it.
We're building my wife computer.
Where before, let's say, we talked about reviewing the phone, right? I got the Honor 6X from Huawei, and great phone, but I don't know how to review this. Hey, the battery lasts perfect, great. It's better than my Note 4's battery, which died multiple times because I bought a replacement that didn't work. Great. But I don't know all the I don't go into crazy deep. I do social media on it. I browse the internet. I use GPS. I make calls. I send texts. And now I've recently started playing a racing game. That's it. And to be a racing game, you don't say, right? But here's the thing: I wish I didn't play it on here. I wish like the NVIDIA Shield portable gamer was still available, but it's not. But yeah, so it's why do a review on something that I don't necessarily fully put in my maybe.
I know there's a third axis. I just can't think of it.
Well, I'm gonna say it's this is. Oh, but that doesn't make sense. Like that? Well, that's still perfect. That's good. So why would I do a review on something that I don't necessarily put that much effort in? Where in a case, because I've built so many computers, my biggest thing, it's not just the CPU that I want. It's not just the RAM that I want. It's not just the hard drives that I want. It's not just the GPU I want, but the case for me is one of the biggest things. If you don't have the right case, maybe that fits you, or that's easy to work with, or can fit everything you want in it, that's huge for me. And so I'm very invested in cases, and that's why I enjoy making those videos. And I do, but that's why I don't make other tech videos, because I don't necessarily enjoy them.
Right.
And if I don't enjoy them, they probably won't come out as good as my case reviews.
For sure.
There's always that. I'm the only one watching. But yeah, it's all about going back to it all. It's about enjoying the thing you want to do.
Yeah.
Figuring out the thing I love, like I said, if anybody can go on YouTube, search Matthew McConaughey inspirational speech. It's 2 college kids from 2015. And he sits down, he talks to them like a human being, right? He doesn't stand at the podium. Even the way he starts the speech, he sits down, he rolls up his sleeves. He's like, I was thinking about how I wanted to do this, if I wanted to stand up here and give you your rights and this and that. But I'm like, I want to talk to you about things that I know, things that I don't know, things that I want to say, not necessarily what others would want me to say.
Right. And
things that might benefit you. And that's how he starts it. And the 2 things that he says in there, which I've already mentioned to you, is 1, enjoy the thing you do, right? It's not make it, what is it? It's not make it happy to work or happy at your thing you do. It's enjoy the thing you do, right? There's a difference. And he explains why there's a difference. And then the other one is figure out who you're not and figure out who you are.
Right.
By figuring out who you're not is going to help you figure out who you are.
Right.
Right. So
I think coming out of college, a lot of people. I was gonna say kids, but you're not a kid when you get to come out of college.
No, you're
a lot of people that come out of college are thinking like, I gotta get a job, I gotta put my degree to work.
Right.
I think, and I really, really, really love Gary Vee's persistent point on this. This has been his point since, like, I've been watching like old stuff, 2015, 2014. Yeah. This has been his persistent point since he started public speaking, and it's taste. From 20 to 29, you can fail at everything.
Right.
Because at 30, it's still just day 1.
Right.
Everyone's living longer. If you're gonna, because at the end of the day, when you turn 30, you can still just go get a job.
Right.
You could always just go get a job.
Yeah.
But if you have some inkling of passion, if you have, maybe I want to travel.
Right.
Take a summer and travel. If
100%.
you have a, travel by car, live at Airbnbs, sleep, shower at your gym. Like there are ways to do it in the present, I want to say in the future, but like it's 2018. It's the future now. It's the present.
Right, yeah.
I'm watching all these people who live out of their camper or
RVs or whatever it is.
You can live. If you got a roomy enough back seat, you can live out your car for a few months, just so you can see if you really dig traveling.
Right.
And then see how you can turn that into a business. Write a blog, because that's easy.
Right.
If you're a writer, some people make videos. We make videos. I kind of do a little bit of everything.
Right.
I like writing. But like, so if you communicate really well through writing, if you communicate really well through audio, if you want to, you don't want to be on camera, but you want to speak your truth.
Right.
Jump on, make a podcast. This is my
podcast
about traveling.
Podcasts
or whatever.
Are legitimately just audio. It happens that some people post them on YouTube with the video, but podcasts are audio. You don't have to be on camera.
100%.
Or if you don't want to talk or be on video, write about it.
Exactly.
Learn
there
how
are
to
options.
write.
There are options. You can Instagram it. You could Facebook it. You can whatever. And you try it for 3 months. If you don't like it, if you're like, I really don't like, having to scrape together money or whatever, cool. Don't do that. Try something else. Like, you have so much time as a human being. Like, I'm 34 and I don't feel old.
Here's the thing.
I'm not feeling like I'm going to fall over.
I'm 32 and I'm the same way, man. At first I was like, man, I feel like maybe I started late, right? Maybe I should have realized my.
There's always that. Yeah, there's always that.
There's always that in your head. But like, I'm 32, man. I still feel like I just got out of high school. I really do. I truly do. I remember like it was yesterday, man. And I don't feel any different from then till now. So I got plenty of time. But I will say this, back to what you were just saying. Jesus, I can't now. It did that thing. It's the dead thing. Well, one, I want to specify for Marquez, right? Marquez is a perfect example of that. He went to college while doing YouTube. He was in high school, went to college, and he realized that he really loves this thing he does on YouTube.
Yeah.
He finished, ironically, with a degree that helps him in YouTube. It was a business degree, but that's not originally why he went. He didn't go to get a business degree because of YouTube. He said that's what he wanted to do, but then he realized he really, really has this passion for the thing he does, and ironically, they work together.
And that's why I love the question on Hot Ones. You know, Sean asked him, you know, how come, you know, I see a lot of YouTubers like buying Teslas, and his answer was, I really wanted it, and I saved up for a long time to get it.
Yeah.
That was the greatest fucking thing out of anyone's mouth.
And that's literally that book that I listened to on audio, because I'm not a reader, says the same thing. You want something, don't worry about buying on credit. Save your money and then buy it. Right. Because it's all about, the book is about being a millionaire, how to be, you know, seven secrets or 7 ways of being a millionaire. And one of them is to, you know, obviously avoid debt. And if you want something, don't think that's going to be the best price because somebody tells you that's the best price. Right. Walk away if you hear that, because that's probably BS. You can usually find even a better price than what that is. And so, and a lot of times people are like, oh, that's the best price. I'm going to buy it now and I'm going to buy it in credit. Right. And that's where it comes to being in debt.
Because that's not the best price anyway, because you're paying.
But I just remember what I want to say. So you were talking about Gary Vee and saying like, you know, go do your thing. And then you were talking about travel, right? You love to travel. You can figure out how to make that into a career. A lot of times what people say nowadays on YouTube, right? And don't get me wrong, this is not majority of the people that watch YouTube, but this is the haters and the trolls that want to comment to make you feel like crap. Oh, this is not a job. This is not... You know, don't BS yourself. You don't work, right? Here's my argument to that. Sure, traveling is, let's say you enjoy traveling to see other sites. Sure, that's not a job. Okay, that's not a job. However, if somebody decides to make a video about it, guess what? You're wrong. That is work.
Document it, create a work.
And here's how it's worked. Here's how it's worked. Let me give you a perfect example. These people, these trolls, that what they think is a real job. I'll give you a real job. A construction person, right? Somebody who's capable of building something. Well, what do they have to do for that job? Well, one, they have to have the expertise of learning how to create something, right? Let's say it's a house. They have to know how to build a house. Okay, that is a skill they know. Not everybody knows how to build a house. They have that skill, and so they are in that profession. And then they use knowing that to obtain tools or work for somebody that has the tools and the money to do that job. Okay, well, here's what a YouTuber or a blogger or anybody else does. They take the skill that they have in creating videos, writing blogs, doing podcasts, whatever it is. That's a skill. So I've already proven why it's already a job or a work, because it's a skill. Now, 2, they have to get the gear, the equipment that allows them to do that work or job. Oh, well, we're already on the same page of what a job or work is. 3, they spend their time 9 to 5, 5 to 9, 10 to 10, doing that work, that job. So ironically, it has all the characteristics of a job, but because you're enjoying it and they see you enjoy it, it is no longer a job. And that's the difference. If you are in a position where you're willing to write down, don't fool yourself, this is not a business, this is not a job, you're wrong. The reason you're wrong is because you see that they're happy and you're not.
I think that's, if you're in that position, if you're in that mental state where you need to try to tell someone why what they're doing is not a real job. Absolutely. It sounds like you need to reevaluate your job.
Absolutely.
It sounds like you are not happy with what you're doing. Now, that you reevaluating may not mean that you go out there and start travel blogging.
Right. I'm not telling you to do the same thing I'm doing, but it tells me.
But you may not. Maybe you're not supposed to be. I don't know.
Just maybe
cutting sheet metal for a living.
Just
It kind
of feels like that might be
you might be destined to be a just incredibly successful retail store manager.
Right. That's what I'm saying.
If that's your job, if you're like, I like telling people what to do, I like making sure things are done on time, you might need to go into management.
Just possibly.
You know?
Just possibly. That's what I'm trying to get at is people want to sit there and talk about what a job is. Well, a job is 3 things. Time that it takes to do it,
right?
A skill,
right?
And the tools to do it.
Yep.
Well, guess what? YouTubers have all that. Yep. So do bloggers, so do podcasters, so do cameramen, so do audio people. Anybody that does anything, as long as they're enjoying it. Car mechanic. Guess what?
Race car
Our
drivers.
buddy Sherman seems very happy at being a shop runner and being part of that of that industry.
He runs a full service shop, and free plug. Libertyville, Illinois.
Bro, my boy Sherman.
What's it called?
It's Auto Lab of Libertyville.
Auto Lab of Libertyville. That's
in
the one.
Libertyville, Illinois, obviously. Libertyville, so Libertyville, Illinois.
But yeah, so he's perfectly happy doing that.
Seems happy to me.
He's never told me that I shouldn't be making videos because that's not a real job.
I've never heard him say anything like that.
But you know, but
he does a real job though.
But he does a real job though.
He does a real job. I don't know, man.
Again, it just seems like it's a personal thing if you are in a position where you feel so unhappy in your situation that you need to tell other people that they should also be unhappy because they're not doing a quote-unquote real job.
100%. And that's the thing, man. You know,
I think that's where the majority of the issues in our society come from, is that there's a lack of personal responsibility.
100%.
You feel the need to tell other people what to do when you are not taking responsibility for your own stuff.
Yep.
I'm not about that life.
Yeah,
I am 100%. That's why I can't. I know this is something I've discovered, you know, and it took me many years. I thought maybe I was just bad at certain jobs. Maybe I just don't have the patience to be this, that, or the other thing. You know, I was a store manager at one point.
But you didn't care.
But then I kept asking too many questions.
Yep.
Kept asking too many questions. They wouldn't let me run my store my way, and I said, "All right, well, fuck y'all then."
Right. I don't want to be a store manager.
No, not even a little bit. They called me. You know, when I do this, when I walk in, and you know, I'm gonna pat myself on my back here. I walked into a store that was declining in profits and sales and every metric you can possibly have. And actually, by the way, I found out all those stores are closed now, so I'm happy to name names. Radio Shack. I walked into my Radio Shack store, and what had happened is that the manager there had hired all friends,
right?
All buddies of hers on one level or another. And I walk in, and the first minute I'm there, one of my employees is sitting down behind the counter. There's a ladder in the middle of the sales floor. Someone's sitting on that, and I'm just like, what the fuck is happening here?
Right. I wonder why you guys are not making
So I just start making moves. You know, the one person the other manager wanted at her new store, because that manager had quit, so they had shifted her over and promoted me on the fast track.
Right.
And I was like, cool, you can have her. And the other kid was late every day. And after about 3 weeks, I was like, listen, dude, I need you here, I need you gone. Those are your two options.
Right.
I'm not dealing with you are supposed to be here at 4, you get here at 4:30.
Right. That's a significant late.
Not dealing with that.
5 minutes, whatever.
5 minutes, I don't care. 15 minutes every day, go fuck yourself.
Right.
So that guy says, fuck, this guy's for real. He turned around to become my best salesman.
Right.
Because I said, hey, do your fucking job.
Right.
The other guy, very active in after-school activities. He was in tennis. He was traveling all the time.
Good.
So he had some scheduling things, like sometimes. Like, and I told him, like, listen, dude, I need you here. Like, if you say I'm gonna be gone Friday, but I'll be back Saturday, and I schedule you Saturday, you can't call me on Saturday and be like, yo, we never made it back. Like, you need to plan for that. If you might not make it back, let me know you need both days off.
Let me know a few days earlier.
Let me know both days you need, and it's fine. There's no problem there. But anyway, he was killing it. This was right when Radio Shack was starting to sell cell phones.
Yeah.
And, like, not starting to. They were, like, really ramping.
Right, I got you.
They were really, like, I think they had just added Verizon. Like, they had just started adding that.
Okay.
And we're killing it. Like, I mean, to the point that, like, at the weekly manager meetings, I sit down or monthly manager meetings, I sit down and the Sprint sales guy kicks off his little spiel with, and number one store this week, again, a Dalibor store. And I was like, that's what we do.
Yeah,
Go on.
that's what we do.
Go on. Like, I'm not here for the praise. Go, do your thing. And then I get home, and my guy's crushing it. He's selling cell phones hand over fist. Again, this little situation with scheduling, I was like, yo, we just need to be on the same page. If you're going to be gone, you can be gone. I don't give a shit. I just need to know. Like, I don't mind working a 12-hour shift. I don't mind open and close, but I need to know that I'm going to do that so I don't make any plans.
For sure.
And he's killing it. I get a call from my district manager and says, hey, he's not really selling batteries. And I pull him up, and I was like, he is 10 to 50% above goal in every single other category.
Right.
I think you're going to need to get rid of him. I was like, no, thanks for your call. Bro, are you joking?
Right.
You're going to tell me to get rid of my best salesman in 2 categories and second best salesman overall. Get the fuck out of here.
That's why that's
why I was like, I asked too many questions.
Yeah,
I need to be able to, because I'm fine with I need to be able to run my organization because I'm fine with being the one to blame.
Yeah.
If I'm 100%, we're full-time Nexus and like we lose the contract, we lose the client, or we don't get a client, I'm sitting here like, all right, how did I approach that wrong? Like, did I send the wrong person to talk to them? Was the sales pitch was the price too high? Like, it's here.
Yeah, absolutely.
Where did I fuck up?
Right.
At our current job, every time something's wrong, I'm just like, why is no one doing their fucking job?
Right, absolutely.
Because I don't know where the issue is. So
right.
I'm like hitting the camera.
Whoa.
I'm like, why is no
we don't
one
want to
doing
give
their
seizures to people.
Right. I'm like, this is not working. That's not working. So I'm thinking, like, where is the breakdown? It's like, it's some level of the chain. Somebody just fucking didn't do it.
I agree.
And, like, I have no control over that. I have no direct way to be like, if I'm like, hey, I'm the third person they talk to, and I'm like, I go back through the notes.
And there's nothing.
No one asked you question number 1.
Right.
Here's question number 1. Oh, it's that? It's a hardware issue.
Right.
And I'm just like, how did we skip number 1?
I'm saying.
When I can't be like, hey, first guy, what the fuck are you doing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because
that's not my responsibility.
That's not your responsibility.
It falls to me to be the last guy to get like the pissed off customer.
Right.
And they're like, yo, what the fuck? Why is my shit broken? And I'm like, I don't know.
Right.
Sorry. And then I'm looking at the notes and I'm like, they didn't do this, they didn't do this, they didn't do this. And I'm just like, what the fuck did they do? This is the third person you're talking to and nobody did shit.
Right.
And I'm like, how does that even happen? So, and again, if it's mine, I am 100% to blame. I don't care if the newest guy went in and was like, oh, dude, like, comes back, hey, I went in, I pitched the deal, they didn't want it, I'm so sorry. I'd be like, yo, not your fault. I gave you the deal to sell. I said, here, take this, sell it to them. I wrote the deal. Or I authorized it.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's my decision. Like, at the end of the day, if we're 50, 100 people strong, and somebody shows up and somebody shows up to work and they're like, oh, man, I'm so stressed. I'm like, oh, why are you stressed? And they're like, I lost the deal yesterday. And I was like, yeah, that's cool. You ain't do nothing.
Right.
You didn't write the deal. You didn't create the deal.
Right.
You didn't set the pricing. I did that.
Right. Right.
If they didn't give you specific reason, if they weren't like, Billy, I really fucking hate your ass, I'm not going to work with you. Well, then I don't work with that motherfucker anyway.
Right.
A. B, if they didn't say that, then it's not your fault.
Right. Until somebody.
So if it was you, then I don't care about them. You know what I'm saying? Like, I hired you. I want to work with you. If they don't want to work with you, fuck them.
Right.
Like, there's other clients.
No, I mean, I completely understand where you're coming from, and that's another reason why I needed to figure out who I'm not.
Yeah.
And I figured out what I want.
Yeah.
Who I am.
You've worked in a lot of different fields.
I'm
pretty sure I've done every possible position you can do in retail.
Yeah.
I don't really like retail.
I mean, besides having the title, I've
done everything from pushing carts to like back room to store management. You know what I'm saying? Like, I've done every position, and I'm just like, even at store management, there's still someone above me who can tell me no, or can tell me it's your fault, and I don't know why it's my fault.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like, I don't mind it being my fault. You just tell me why it's my fault.
Can you like, explain to me? Like,
it's my fault that like corporate, some mystical entity called corporate somewhere in the universe, decided X, Y, and Z, and I got yelled at for not charging someone money, and that to me is insane. A dude came in, bought RAM from me.
Right.
First of all, he's buying RAM at retail. He's overpaying.
Right.
He bought old RAM, still paid $25 for it.
Jesus.
Like 512 stick.
Oh, back in the
day. In 2016.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
2014. Still, 2014, he bought a 512 DR stick.
Oh my God.
So like, fucking scrap metal.
I was gonna say that should be worth like 5 cents.
Scrap metal from me for $25.
What in the world, man?
No, it was 30. No, I'm sorry, it was $35. $35 fucking dollars.
That's insane. Man.
So I'm sitting there and I'm just like, cool, hey. And he's got this gateway, I think, flips open, and I was like, oh, it's just screw, pop. Here you go.
Oh yeah, I remember you telling me that. Yeah,
That's it. It was open up this little door with a single screw. The RAM slot is right there. It was empty. I didn't even have to take one out. I was like, boom, close, double your RAM. Thank you for your purchase. Have a great day.
I remember you telling me.
My boss walks up behind me. What'd you get on that? You get the install? And I was like, huh? Oh, I sold on the RAM. Did you charge for the install? No, I didn't charge her for the install. What are you talking about?
Right.
You have to charge her for the install. I was like, what? Yeah. No. I'm like, I'm never going to charge anyone for that install. If I had to disassemble his laptop, 100%.
I'm saying.
But I didn't even have to manage the laptop for 10 minutes.
Right.
I held it for a minute and a half.
Right.
No. I'm not going to charge him $30 on top of his $35 fucking RAM. Fuck you. Like,
I'm saying.
But I can't tell that because then I was like, that's why I get that disconnect. When someone tells you, you got to do this because... Not because of a good reason.
Right. It's not like there's actual...
Not because of like, if... And again, this is like services, so like, to me, it meant more that like, this dude appreciates that I hooked him up. And then in 6 months, when his like 6-year-old fucking laptop fell apart anyway, because it's a fucking gateway. Like... Right. He was going to be like, hey, Delaware, I really appreciate you helping me out with that. Fucking thing crashed. I'm fucking sick of it. I'm going to buy a new one. And what do you got for me? Right. Ooh, let me show you the new shit.
Yeah.
But if you're gonna make me charge everyone, this is the same conversation I had with fucking the manager at Circuit City, and then a week later I got fired for cursing at a customer, which never fucking happened. Same fucking conversation I had. We're having a store meeting, and he like services was the biggest. This was like when like Geek Squad would start. They had Fire Dog. Remember?
Yeah, Fire Dog.
They had Fire Dog.
I remember
services
Fire Dog.
Are just starting up, and
I was doing the installs and all that before Fire Dog, man. I was like, I straight up, I remember like Fire Dog wasn't even in talks. Like actually having a service center wasn't in talks, and I was just sitting there, and I'm like,
yeah, they had that thing in the middle, right?
I was like, this person really wants to have this installed. It's like we don't really do them. And I'm like, well, I know how to, so you want me to just do it for him to, make him happy?
Right.
He's like, yeah, go ahead and do it. We didn't even have pricing at this point. Like at this point,
that was way before I was there.
Yeah, and I was like, all right. And then they started incorporating pricing. And I was back there doing it, and I was doing it for the longest time. And then they introduced Fire Dog, and I'm like, well, I want that position, and they didn't give it to me. And I'm like, but I've been Fire Dog.
Right.
Like I've been Fire Dog
in this bitch.
Yeah, and so I'm sitting there, And that's the thing. And it's like, well, yeah, enjoy. Once again, like, would I have been happy to be put in Fire Dog? Sure, but at the end of the day, at some point,
You
I
would
would
have
have
come up against the
realized
same. You would have come up against the same fucking brick
100%.
wall because the meeting we had, we were like, they were like, oh, like, we got to push services. We got to push services. You know, we got to sell installations, whatever. Like if somebody buys a printer, sell the installation. I'm like, all right, that can be complicated. I see that.
Right.
And he's like, somebody buys a mouse, sell an installation, and I was like, I'm sorry, what?
Yeah, a mouse.
I was like, in 2006.
Yeah.
Now this is not 1998.
Plug and play, mother.
This is not 1998 at the fucking main stage at the Microsoft event, and he's like, "It's plug and play." Blue screen. It's 2006. At
Blue
this point.
screen.
It's 2006. Plug and play really, truly did mean plug and play.
It
you
did,
want me to
100%.
sell a plug and play device that's $19.99 with a $19.99 installation?
I'm saying.
No.
Right.
I told him flat out in front of the whole store. I said, I will never offer that.
I mean, dude, even myself.
And then
I
a week
couldn't
later,
do it.
I cussed at a customer, quote unquote. And I'm like, when unemployment called me, and they were like, so what happened? And I was like, this is what happened. I'm like, I don't know why, because like they told me because it was because I was being late.
Right.
And I had been late like a few times because I was living in Elgin and working Schaumburg.
Sure, I got you.
And I've been late a few times because I was relying on my girlfriend at the time to drive me to work.
I remember that.
And you know, scheduling issues, and that's all, you know, shit happens. Fucking traffic and shit happens.
I mean, it would have
And
been...
it was like 10 minutes at most.
Right.
And it was like, if I said it was 10 times, I'd be lying.
Sure.
And it wasn't like, hey, we need to talk to you about this shit. It was like, they talked to me about it one time,
Right.
and then literally, like, within 3 days, they were like, you no longer work here.
Well, here's the thing.
And I was like, what the fuck just happened? When they called me, when unemployment called me, they were like, what happened? And I was like, you want to tell me? Like, they said it was because I was late, but I was like 3, 4, 5 times at most, and no one talked to me about it. It was like, hey, you're late, now you're fired.
Right.
And I was like, what the fuck is this? And he's like, oh, that's not even why they said you were fired. They said you were fired because you cursed at a customer. And I was like, the fuck?
And it would have been even funny. It's funny to me because they could have literally just been like, he wasn't capable of doing his job. They could have used that as an excuse.
They could have used no excuse.
I mean, yeah, absolutely.
It's at will employment.
Right.
They can fire you for no reason.
I'm saying. Well, that's what
They,
I'm
in
saying.
fact, should fire you for no reason because you could argue the reason.
No,
if they give you
absolutely.
one.
Well, that's what I'm
So
saying.
that's why I told him, I'm like, the only time I cussed on the floor ever, I'm like, is if we were in our, like, in the tech area, there was no customers around, and we were quiet.
Right.
And that was because that was the group dynamic. We cussed. And not, like, you know, blatantly. It
Of
was just
course,
like,
yeah, you
something,
didn't-
something, fucking something.
Right.
And I'm like, the only time that, like, is obvious to me is, like, 2 days before I got fired, there was a situation where the front end was understaffed, and they came to us. We were understaffed, and they said we would have to cover their lunches. And aside to my manager and my shift lead, aside, again, not in front of anyone else, not in front of customers, I said, how the fuck how are we supposed to cover their lunches when we can't fucking cover our own? That's exactly what I said.
Sure.
So not even like a malicious fuck this.
Yeah.
So that's the only time I can think of that, like, someone could have, like, been offended by, like,
Been
what I
offended,
said.
right, 'cause you said-
Because it wasn't, like, during our group dynamic. It was like, hey, like, you know, how are we supposed to cover their lunch if we can't fucking cover our own?
Right. I got you.
And that was it. And I was like, nah, that's all that happened. I'm like, I've never cursed in front of a customer because I work in retail and I'm
Right.
not an idiot.
Right.
Like, I've worked in retail at that point for 6 years. I'm like, it's just not something that would come out of my mouth.
Right.
Period. Like,
Absolutely.
if this was my first day, first month, first year, maybe I might allow for that. No, I'm 6 years deep into retail. That's never come out of my mouth in front of a customer.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, here's the thing, and just going back to it all, like, I think there's two things that business owners or independent people or whatever you want to call it, or, you know, creators, there's two things I think are true. One, you don't want to work for anybody else.
No, I think if you are bred for that, if you I was,
Once again, going back to what I said earlier, I am super jealous of people who can do a 9-to-5 job for somebody else.
if I could,
Because if I had that mentality, my life would be
Erica's that way.
easier.
Erica, all she wants to do is work a job,
Yeah,
and go home.
yeah.
That's it.
And I
And
have
not get a
nothing.
phone call
I
at
have
7,
nothing
8,
against
9,
that.
10
And by the
o'clock.
way, just
Whereas
so
I'm like, if I got a phone call at 3 in the morning, I'd be like,
Right.
yo, what the fuck's going on?
yeah. And by the way, don't get me wrong. We need those people.
100%.
Like jobs, companies
I
couldn't
want many.
exist.
I want to hire many of.
I'm
those people.
saying
like
customers could, or not customers, companies couldn't exist without people that are willing to do a 9-to-5 job and
Yeah.
actually enjoy it.
right. And even then, like some people are just wired in a way that they don't need to enjoy their work.
Right.
They don't need to.
They don't need to. It's just
not,
a job.
It's
they
just
go to it.
how they get paid.
Right.
Like my buddy Mike, he is like he's like a high-end coder, dude. Like he does like weird web integration shit for his company. Like I still don't know like the full extent of what
Sure.
he does. Like it's like this dude has his media server at home on Linux.
Right, I
Because
got
he
you.
prefers Linux.
I got
and
you.
I'm like, you're a fucking nerd.
Right.
Like I love you, but you're a fucking nerd. Like I like Linux, but like I don't do this shit.
Right. Right.
He's like, oh, check it out. Like I can fucking SSH into my. I was like, I don't know what you're saying. Like I get the general gist of what you're saying,
Right.
but I don't know like why it's exciting.
Right. No, absolutely.
But like he works a important job, and like I said, he's a deep coder. But like he's more excited to tell me about the cool dumb shit he did with Linux at home
Same.
than like his job to him is job.
Yeah.
He just 100%.
That's it.
And he talks about like, hey, like I wasn't happy with how things were going at work, so I said, yo, boss, just so you know, I'm not really happy with how things are working. I'm looking elsewhere. Like, you know, either things are gonna change or I'm gonna go elsewhere. You know,
Of course.
So like, he has a, you know, he's got a way he wants to work, and a way he wants to his work environment to be. But that's not what he's about.
Right.
His job is not what defines
Right.
him. Like Mike is a dope dude. He's super into old school music. Like he's an incredible singer. Like I would never say like Mike is about coding.
Right. I
I
got
say
you.
he's about all these other things. Whereas like I hope to God that when people talk about me, they're like, Dalbor makes videos.
Right.
Dalbor's got a YouTube channel.
Yeah.
That's what I want people to say. I told you the other day, and I had a realization. A friend of ours is also looking into starting a podcast. Kind of like a life mommy thing, like super excited to listen to it because she's got really interesting opinions about things. And she was like, have you done a video about like microphones? And I was like, actually,
Matter of fact.
I have a video for that. And I was like, I want that to be my response to every
Everything,
fucking
right.
question someone asks me.
Yeah.
That's like, I don't need to do a review of like, you know, I watched this dude talking about like 15 different controllers, like
Right.
or like Xbox One controllers that like are almost like the real thing.
Right.
And he talked about 2 or 3 different ones or whatever. But I was like, this is cool, but I'm like, I don't want to do this video. But I want to be able to have one video where I showed a cheaper alternative to Xbox controller. I already have that. I have 2.
Yeah.
Like, could I do one on this?
Sure.
Sure, but I already did one on that and it's the same fucking controller.
Right.
Like,
No,
there's 2
absolutely.
extra buttons, but who cares?
No, absolutely. I mean, I completely get it, man.
Like-
I get where you're coming from. It's
If someone's like, man, I really need another Xbox controller, I'll be like, you're not gonna video for that. That's it.
right, and that's. I mean, that, and that's where that enjoyment of what you do.
Please ban me. Welcome to the broadcast. I mean,
That's a hell of a name, but I
That's-
don't know. Do you want to? Do you
it's a
legitimately want?
request.
Do you really want to be
It's a
banned?
request,
I don't know if
but
you.
I don't know.
You did? I don't know.
I don't know what we're doing. We're gonna let you set the stage.
Listen,
and like,
you
listen,
s-
if
yeah.
it's needed, then
Yeah.
I might.
Yeah,
But
you go with it, and we'll figure it out. We'll
We're
see how
talking-
far you go with it.
We're doing our podcast right now. It's about like called Tangents Podcast. The Tangents Podcast available on
Yes.
iTunes, Google,
Everywhere.
Podcasts.
Everywhere you
I
podcast,
gotta
that's where
change
it's-
it. I used to say Google Play, but now it's Google Podcasts.
Oh my
Very
bad.
sexy app, yeah. It's clean. It's real clean.
Is it clean?
It's super clean and
Oh,
like
yes.
modern and stuff. But yeah, I did an Instagram post. It got some love. It got dude. I had a showing of my subscribe podcast. I don't have like 5 subscribe podcasts. One of them is ours.
Of
Like
course.
the first one though is Hello from the Magic Tavern, and I tagged the group.
Right.
And fucking Chunt, the shapeshifter, clicked it, and I was like, he liked the post, and I was like,
I know you told me.
yeah, it's fucking shit.
That's great.
I was like,
I
God
love
damn
it.
it, this is amazing.
This is the best thing ever.
I saw it, I was like, holy shit! I'm
Right?
like, in some form, they know I exist.
Right. In some form or another.
That's my
I'm
fucking
alive.
right. Like in some form, like if we're playing into it, in some form, they know of our existence in an alternate reality. Boom. Boom.
Is that where we end the podcast? Is that it? Is that damn it? But no, I mean it just goes back to literally just the same thing we've been saying the whole time. If you don't enjoy the thing you do, you're not going to do it right. Right? Even if you tell yourself it's the thing you want to do, but you're not enjoying that moment, that time, doing whatever that is, it's not going to be fun, and it's not going to be good.
Right.
And that plays into anything you do. And we've seen that. We've seen that with a lot of things. Yeah, there's a problem.
I keep hearing her like snore, but then I don't see her anymore.
And that's the thing. I think people are a little confused or construed. Is that the word? About what that means. Just because people talk about pursuing your dreams or pursuing the thing you want to do, that doesn't necessarily mean create videos on YouTube,
Right.
or stream games. There could be something else that you like doing. For instance, a guy that I follow does car videos. I enjoy him. He's a young Asian kid, but his thing is streaming drawing. He draws like amazing anime, and he streams that. That's his thing.
Dope.
That's how he started. It's not streaming games.
Right.
It's streaming the process of creating that thing
Yeah.
that he does.
Yeah.
And then what does upside it? So his main thing is art, but it's creativity, because the reason he does the videos, and he says it all the time, is because of the creativity. And then also when he talks about his car, modifying his car, it's about the creativity.
Yeah.
It's all about him being able to use his creativity to create something new, to create something fun. So if
Yeah.
it's with his car, if it's with his videos, or if
100%.
it's with his drawings.
100%.
And he enjoys that. That is what he enjoys. He enjoys the creativity behind it. So it's all about what you, and going back to, Matthew McConaughey, figure out what you're not, and when you do that, that's going to help you figure out what you are,
Yeah.
who you are, what
Absolutely.
you want to do.
Absolutely. At the end of the day, like you said,
Gary Vee said, you can get a job every day, right?
you can always get
From 20,
you can always
from
go get a job.
what is it, 22 to 29, whatever it is, you can get a job every day until you figure out what it's not.
Yeah. Go
Yeah.
go work somewhere for a week.
Yeah.
If you want to apprentice,
Hey,
at
I want to be an engineer. Go do it.
apprentice at a shop.
Oh, and you know what? Go
Can I
on and do
intern
it.
here for a week? I want to see what's going on. I want to see what's popping.
You can do it, man. It's just
Cool.
It's
Like-
just knowing what you. It took us a while. It took me a while.
It took me forever. I mean, shit. Realistically speaking, if we're being super honest, the last 6 months have really like opened my eyes as to what I want to do.
Yeah, 100%.
I opened this year with this idea of like, oh, I'm gonna build up the content on the channel, and by the end of the year, I'm gonna be doing 7 days of content.
And I told you. I even said to you. I said I think that's admirable. I think you doing 7 videos is great, especially if it's good content. 7 videos. But I said I think that's a lot. I think that's.
And it's not to me. That's the thing. To me, it's not even the volume. To me, it's just that it became like I'll still do the app spotlights because I think they're dope. Like I found like ShareX is the dopest app.
Right.
Like Windows needs to buy that last week and integrate that shit in the next build.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like being able to just screen cap a GIF,
Right.
dude. If someone was to ask me like, how do you do this? Let me screen cap this region. Click, finish screen cap. And then you just send them that GIF.
Right.
Here's a GIF of how you do it.
Yeah. Right.
I don't want to try to explain it to you. This is how you do it.
I'm saying.
Like, that would be incredible. But I'm saying, if that was built into Windows, fucking aces. So, like, I like doing shit like that. I like trying out, like, kind of forcing myself to try new shit. Like, I'm always talking about, like, oh, like, some shit is too hard. Like, I was talking about GIMP was like the hardest fucking thing in the world for me for the longest time, because every time I was trying to use it, it's like, oh, I don't have fucking Photoshop on this. Let me just install GIMP real quick and just knock out this thing that I need.
Right.
And then I'm sitting there clawing at my fucking eyes because I can't do it, because I'm trying to do it last fucking minute.
Right.
Whereas this time when I did it for the app Spotlight, I'm like, I'm gonna give myself however much time I need to figure out the tools, to figure out how shit works, and like it worked perfectly fine.
Yeah.
And I think if I
saw that because I remember watching the video.
I spent my time entirely in GIMP, I'd be fucking aces with it.
Yeah.
Because the shit I've seen people make with GIMP, I'm just like, how? How
the
fuck have you
you've
done
always
that?
said that to me, yeah.
You know, but at the same time, like, on the same level, I've seen people do shit in Photoshop. Like, now they have, like, 3D tools and shit. You gotta understand, 15 years ago when it was Photoshop 7 and 3D was, like, a joke.
Right.
People were making 3D art in Photoshop. And I'm just like, you're a goddamn magician.
Right.
Fuck you. Like,
I got
that did not come out of Photoshop.
Right.
You did that in 5 different programs, you son of a bitch. Like, but, like, it's 100% figuring it out, because I'm done with that idea. I'd rather have one video a week that's fucking great.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not saying that I won't necessarily do App Spotlight every week. I might.
Right.
I still, my desktop is still full of
but
full
if
of
you
apps that need to get reviewed.
if you have to, here's the thing: if
But
you
if I
have
do-
to go out of your way to like find an app because you're like, oh, I got to get this video released and I got to find
Right,
an app.
exactly.
But you might not.
But I like discovering shit.
Yeah, of course.
I found a bunch of, like, the shit that I've done so far has been shit that I found, like, in the search for something.
Right.
Like, hey, I was looking for an alternative for fucking Space Sniffer for Mac.
Yeah.
And I found JDisk. And
You
I was like,
did.
JDisk fucking aces.
Yeah.
It does a great fucking job. And I would even say, like, I like that interface almost better than the Space Sniffer. You know what I'm saying? And, like, I was looking the same thing when I did the phone one. And I was like, I wonder if there's a alternative for Android for Space Sniffer. So I found that Disk Space or whatever it's called, Disk Space Management. And I was like, oh, this is really dope. And I was like, oh fuck, like PUBG takes up like 8 gigs or 2 gigs or whatever, but still like 2 gigs on like a limited space phone. And I was like, fuck. So I was like, fuck it, delete PUBG. Like, oh shit, I played it twice. You know what I'm saying? But like, at the same time, sometimes I just look at it and I'm like, oh, this looks like a cool app. I'd love to check it out. And then at the end of the day, I would also like to do a deep dive. Like, I would like to use App Spotlight as a way to build stuff. Oh, by the way, there's an app that we get from work. It's called Xojo, Xojo. It's like a development platform, but it's meant to develop desktop applications. And I was like, you know what that reminds me of? We were going to make a desktop application for my Epic, which has now become Catalyst. And I was like, I wonder if I can start fucking around with that.
Right.
Or even just like a Nexus app. Like just a Nexus app where it would just like open up all the shit.
Yeah.
Like all the analytics, all the
Yeah.
shit. I'm just like, that, just for us.
Right.
Like, hey, you type in your thing, like you have a full throttle one, you click on it, it opens up your Instagram, everything at once, shows you all the analytics pages.
Shameless plug.
Full Throttle Auto.
FullThrottleAuto. Full Throttle one word.
But yeah, so like I don't necessarily need to like, I don't want to feel like you said, I don't want to feel like I have to grind out a video.
Absolutely.
And I feel like last year when I was trying to like hit those marks, sometimes I was like, fuck, like I gotta go out, I gotta do an Explorer video. Honestly, I was driving around, like yesterday we were driving around like on the way to the wedding, and we went like super far west into West Chicago, and on the way I'm just like, man, there's some really fucking cool scenery. Like if you just drive down 38,
Right.
it's like, man, there's some really fucking cool scenery around here. I'm like, it'd be cool to do like a Itasca
Yeah.
explore,
Yeah.
but like some drone shots, like
Yeah.
check out this spot,
Like dope.
check out this spot, but just like kind of like what I did with driving video.
Yeah.
Just like overview.
Yeah.
I don't like I like the ones that I've done, like where I get in close and like show the stuff real up close. But to me, I'd rather be like, yo, check out this really cool fucking scenery in this park, and that's it.
I mean,
If
there's so many.
This is what you should go for.
Yeah.
Like there might be other shit to check out, But like, this is the dopest.
This is what if you're into the same thing I'm seeing, like if you appreciate it how I am appreciating and showing you on video, this is then what you should check out.
Because I feel like in some spots where we've gone before, I'm like, like what else can I add to this video?
Right.
Like I like this shot, I like this, this scenery, this angle, this view. But then I'm like, what else can I add?
Right.
But like for me, it'd be like, this is a really cool like where we were at, dude. It's called it's like Long Pine Country Club or something like that. But it's like, dude, the fucking road that it's on, it's called the Longest Drive. Literally, it's called Longest Drive. And I was like, that's dope. But like, you drive through and like they have the in and out street separated by this like really tall median of grass.
Right.
So like driving in, it's just like you're driving through like grass field, and like the road kind of curves. So it's like, this is kind of dope. And I would love to just like get that shot. I'm like, yo, check out West Chicago. Like, just drive here. Right. You don't have to go to the fucking thing. Just drive here. This is dope. It was kind of fucked up though, because the wedding was right there, and like the ceremony was like on the putting green, but then like the DuPage Airport is right behind the fucking golfing place. So like there was literally like 100 feet above us, like people landing.
Right. Okay.
Like while the ceremony was happening. But like shit like that, like I think a really cool, like, because I feel like I've been limiting myself to being like, I want to do, because remember I was saying I want to do these theme Thursdays?
Yeah.
And I was talking about like doing like a memorial, like hitting all these like, war veteran memorials and things like that.
Right.
I was like, you know what that feels like? That feels like a fucking documentary.
Yeah, of course.
That feels like I want to spend some time on that and not worry myself with like doing a event video if I like need to get one out.
Right.
But like putting one of these theme videos out in 3 months, 4 months.
Like you spend time on it
when I'm done with it.
Yeah, you do a great, like you go over it.
Do some
like,
voiceover if I need to,
this
whatever.
Is what I wanted.
And then put it out, and I like, this is the vision I have.
Yeah.
Because like, again, that's why I've been sitting on the C2E2 video. Honestly, I'm like, I feel like the same footage fucking we had last year.
Yeah, what's the difference?
It's gonna be the same.
That's
video.
why I told you when
I'd rather make small clips of all the interviews we did and put them out on Facebook.
Well, that's the thing, and I told you when we were there, on our third day, I think I was like, man, I don't know if I care to come back next year. You know, here's the thing: come back as for one day as just as a person checking it out. Yeah. Sure. Yeah. But 3 days there to cover the, I told you, I'm like, it needs
honestly,
to change.
You know what I wanted? You know what I actually wanted to do? I was actually thinking next year we should go all 3 days, but we should specifically like make it a point to do cosplay and like have people show up and do like really cool poses. Like again, we tell them, hey, this is gonna be video. We're gonna be doing a really cool cosplay video, and then like set up whatever we need to set up. Like bring your tripod with the wheels.
Yeah.
Bring that so we can do pans around people. Right. Like bring whatever we need to bring,
we
and like set up shop
with the gimbals, man.
and just set up shop.
But that's already a different thing, right?
That's what I'm saying. Like it's a completely
it's
different
already
approach.
different because like
I'm not doing fucking walks and pans of fucking setups. I'm saying like, hey, we're doing this right here, and like bring a fucking banner, fuck it, like, you know what I'm saying, like.
Well, here's the thing, and that's why I wanna, I told you I was like, and I still want to approach him even for that, because I want us to get access to something. Like for instance, this time around, the C2E2 logo, that logo that was sitting on that was by access only. It wasn't something you could just go to at this point this year. You had to actually access that.
They blocked it off, I think, so that people can go up and like get photos.
Right, so you like couldn't just go there, which is good. But I want us to have like capability of going there beforehand with cosplayers.
Right.
And just be like, we'd love to use this as the background for this video we want to make. Right. For this like badass video that we want to put together for cosplayers and from the show, right? Like we can still get like real quick B footage of the show before it starts and then kind of after it starts to show the difference, like before it started and here comes the storm, right? And then incorporate then all the cosplay, and that's already a different video.
Right.
Where this video would have been, I was telling you, we were rocking. I'm like, what's different?
Yeah.
Like we've done this 3, 4
and
years,
and that's what I'm saying. Like that's why this year it's really felt like these last 6 months have really gotten me to kind of look at what I really want
Right.
to do. And like, I don't know if I heard someone say it or if I heard it in a game, but the word talesman, and I was like, yes, I just want to fucking tell stories.
Yeah.
That's why I like what we
Well,
did
that's
with
what-
the site, and we rebranded the site. Like, we
Yeah.
want to help you tell a
Yeah.
story. Like, I don't give a shit what you're trying to sell. You're trying to sell some shit cool, but like, what is the story? What do you want to tell people?
Right.
What is your brand about?
Well, that's-
Like, that's
and-
what I want to help you bring
And
front.
that's why now you understand why the thing we're trying to do now with this little fun comedy stuff, whoever's watching, I want to do it right because I want to tell that story in a comedy way, but I
Right.
want to tell it the right way. I don't
Sure.
want to just put it together, be like, well, it's funny, like it can be better. It can. We've done good. We've done okay. We've done good, but I want it to be really good. I want when people watch it,
Right.
they're laughing, but then they're also like, wow, they took some time.
Right.
They took some time to put it together because there's no more like so before when you first start right when you're first thinking about starting, let's say it's creating videos, right? Everybody tells you just do it, just stop saying you're gonna do it, you're gonna
Yeah.
get to it,
Get the
just do
camera
it,
out,
get the
fucking
camera
go.
out and
Get
start
the phone out,
recording,
whatever.
because that's the only way you're gonna start learning.
Yeah.
Okay, so just do it. But now that no longer applies to us. It's not just do it because we're still we're creating videos, but something like this at this caliber, we want better. We should expect from us better, even if it is taking longer because we want it out so badly. We still want to do it right. We want to get those shots right. We want to make sure when we tell
And
the story,
that's what I'm saying.
it
That's
makes
why.
sense.
That's why. I mean, I would still like to put an actual deadline on it, just so we have that in mind, so we can actually get it done. I don't think it's going to take a ton of editing. I don't think it's going to.
I don't think it's going to be because we're
I don't
not
think
doing
it's gonna be a
crazy
lot of
transitions. We're not. The takes could take some time if the
But then we should just
wordage or the phrases
we'll
don't sound
we'll
right.
keep notes as far as like what take we like.
yeah.
But plus we can always review that.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. You know, that's where I'm kind of getting at is certain things can be done quickly, right? A montage of a show, that's easy. We've known that. You know, yeah, it takes some time to put it together. You know, putting all the clips, cutting them, editing them, putting it all together, all the proper transitions, stuff like that. That can take a little bit of time, but it's easy. We've done it.
Right.
But to actually be precise and to be like, does everything make sense and does this whole story been told the way it needs to be? Does it hit right? All that takes even more time.
Right.
Our story, I mean, when we tell our stories, like when I even tell my stories for the car stuff that I do, I tell the story, but I know the other part of the story that I want to tell, the more the documentary style thing that I've been thinking about. That's going to take some time. That's not going to be just like, oh, I've got the footage, boom, let's put it together, boom, 3-4 days, that's done. No, because that's not how it works.
That's why I'm trying to.
It
go
never
through.
works that way. It never worked.
That's
anyway.
why I didn't go up to Chad's. That's why I didn't go up to Chad's that one week. That's actually why I didn't go up for the. I'm a little salty that I didn't go up for the ceremony, but it was raining way too hard, and I didn't want to not be home when it was raining because of the leaks.
Yeah.
Honestly, I was like,
Yeah, for
I didn't realize it was gonna rain this bad. Like I hadn't checked the weather,
Right.
so like, but like it was raining. For
Well, I mean,
like
I
a whole
told them I
fucking day
couldn't make. I
beforehand.
commented on my personal account. I said I
Yeah.
can't make it to the ceremony. I work, so.
And I wish I could have gone for the footage of the ceremony, but I feel like we got enough footage for
We got
that.
plenty of footage. We just
What I
need-
want to do is I want to sit him down and just like get an hour out of him of like tell me like where like kind of like the little
what was
like
the
the
reason,
little bullshit
like,
stuff
why-
we did
Yeah, of course.
as far as the interviewing during the events, but just kind of now that we're removed from it,
Yeah.
I want to have him be like, hey, this was the setup, this is where we wanted to start up, and I was like, all right, now going to the second one, you got a new partner, like where did that, like how did that come about,
Right,
why
right,
did that
right,
come
right.
about, like what was the difference,
Yeah.
and like going to the third one, he was gone, like what
Yeah.
what was there, so like kind
Make
of get
it
the whole thing
documentary.
and then just like
Yeah.
show off the
That would
different
be
stuff.
make it more of a documentary feel, right?
Right.
You give it more depth. You tell that story. I mean, to throw it in there, don't just do him. Do some of the racers. Like even if they're not the main guys, like let's say you can't get access to the guys that did win the top 3, but get some of them who are in. Ask them like, you know, why do you do it? What is the reasoning?
Right.
You know, how did you feel during the event? What did you feel during the event? How do you feel you did? What was your anticipation? All that, you know, and get those responses, get those actual real responses from people, and use that footage. Use that so that way it's not just a montage. It's not just music and clips.
Right.
It's proper
Right.
footage,
That's
and
what
then
I'm
you
saying.
take your time and you put it together. We might not need fancy transitions, right?
Right.
I use a lot of fancy transitions in my
And that's
montage
why, and like I
videos,
said,
but
that's
when
what
you
I-
do stuff like this, you don't really
Right,
need it.
and that's what I was trying to say is I didn't go up there because I was like, hey, let me come up there and get some extra footage, like, you know, get some more interview footage with you. And then I was like, when the time came, I was like, I don't know what the fuck I want to ask him.
Well, here's the
So then, like, I
right.
came up with this over the last week,
Yeah.
and I was like, all right, like, now I have an idea of, like, what I want to do when I get there.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because, like, I could go up any day.
Right.
I can go up any Wednesday or Thursday.
Sure.
And, like, again, there's no timeline on getting this done.
Of course.
It's my own fucking thing.
Yeah.
So, like...
and we want to do it right. We want to do it right for many reasons. One, for ourselves, because we want to make sure that it's a good, presentable video.
Right.
Like, I want to enjoy it when I watch it. I
Right,
want it
for
to
sure.
be different than what we've released,
Right.
so I can enjoy the difference of what I released. And then at the same time, I want the people that, you know, allowed us to be part of this to enjoy it.
Yeah.
We have our montage videos for the event. We've done 3 of them.
Yeah.
That's great. It's nothing
They're
different
cool.
than what
They
we've done.
they actually got
Yeah.
some decent. They got some decent.
Yeah,
footage out of it.
they're good videos, but we want something different. This main video, the longer video, we want something else.
I feel like this is also gonna help. I actually don't mind that as a thumbnail either.
Me neither. That's why I picked
I
it.
kind of just
That's why I picked it. I was like, I feel like that just works.
because if I cut off here once I move it over,
Right.
yeah, that'll be good. Did you save that up on the drive?
That was what I picked.
Oh,
It was out of the 3 that were the option. I just picked it.
oh, okay.
Yeah.
I'm kind of not even. I don't know. We could leave it up.
We could just leave it. But here's the thing, man. I think now what the difference is even for us, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's something that we're realizing now is that we see the different things we want to do because we're actually now enjoying that process.
Yeah.
You know, where before it was like, oh, we need to release videos, and they weren't bad videos. Don't get me wrong.
Right.
I'm not saying they were horrible videos or anything like that, but there's now more that we want with those videos.
Right.
There's a more creative process that we want from these videos. The creative process hasn't necessarily changed that we already did, but it's going to involve more of it. It's going to involve more of it to tell that story even better.
Right.
And that's the difference, because now we're enjoying that. We're actually doing the thing that we set out to do, was this, to create these stories of the thing that we enjoy and put that together. If it happens to be about a specific subject, that's what it is, but that's what we're doing. And that's why I'm excited about it.
Yeah.
But
And I think that's gonna inform the series we're trying to do with you as well.
yeah, 100%.
You said that the track days in August, the Grid Life track days.
Yeah, August
Okay, so we got a month for that.
4th and 5th or something.
Are there any? Well, this is stuff we can do off the podcast because we're still recording it. Now I'm just like planning videos.
You're playing videos, and we're not going to do that on the podcast.
We're just gonna, yeah. We're just, I think we've made our point. I think
We've made our point.
Yeah.
I mean, we can continue to say the same
we're,
thing
we're,
over
we're
and
at
over.
2 hours of tangents.
Yeah,
and
it's insane. It's
and
insane, but there's no point of
at
going
the
any
end-
further.
at the end
If
of
you
the day-
didn't understand the presentation, if you didn't understand
Right.
us
If-
and 50,000 other people,
if
that's
you have
that's an
not
over exaggeration
understood-
of the number, but a lot of motivational people out there that you can listen to that are in the creative industry. They just happen to be a lot bigger name still to this day than YouTubers are, which is actors. Matthew McConaughey did a great one more recently,
Right.
but you can listen to Jim Carrey's that he did to
Right.
the students. His was very well told
his
as well.
His was outstanding.
I mean,
And
the
he-
biggest one I will always grasp to.
The biggest takeaway from the Jim Carrey one to me was
His dad.
you can fail at something you love,
Or you can fail at something you don't.
or you can fail at something you don't.
Yeah.
That's it. Because again, that goes back to if you fail at something you love, cool, you tried it, it didn't work. Now you can just go get a job.
Or you can learn from that
Right.
failure and then go try it again, but in a different manner.
Right.
And this time, but you're still pursuing the thing you love.
Right.
Where you can still get a different job and still fail at that job and you don't love it. And that's what, and it's you can listen to a lot of people that tell these things. And once again, the thing you love is not necessarily creating videos, streaming videos, writing blogs, or hosting podcasts. It can be anything else that is creative, that is legitimately, though, a lot of things fall into that creative part. Engineers are creative. They engineer shit. That is a creative process. Construction workers are creative because they fucking build things. Like a lot of things you can toss into.
Yeah, but I think to me creative, and again this is another tangent, but to me creative means like making something out of the abstract, making something out of nothing.
I see what you mean.
You know what I'm saying? Like art, like while I cannot deny the skill and capability of construction workers and builders,
Sure.
they follow a plan.
Right, I understand that.
An architect, I think, has incredible creativity
of course,
because they
right.
can use like the laws of like
Physics,
the laws of man,
right,
the
right.
laws of man, because you
Right.
have to like there are codes you have to
Right,
match,
right, sure.
as well as the laws of physics,
Right.
for like water flow
Yeah.
and piping,
Yeah.
and like but put that all together
And
to
create
like,
something that we haven't seen.
just like magic some
Yeah.
shit together. Like I'm looking, I just realized that the coax cable that I'm running the internet off of for this is like it's going through like what appears to just be like the tiniest gap
Right.
between the ceiling and like the wall, and I'm like, how the fuck is that?
Right?
Like who thought of this?
Right.
The same. I told you one day we were driving, and I was like, "Are you like? Do you ever think about the fact that we are being propelled by thousands of tiny explosions, and the crack cocaine that must have been going through the fucking person's brain when they came up with that shit? Like computers make sense to me. It's pathways. It's electrical current. Like
Right.
that's nature.
Right.
Lightning is a thing, but like tiny explosions that propel you forward. That's insane.
Yeah.
Like, but that to me is like somebody came up with that shit. Like you said, an engineer was like, "Yo, if I strap a bunch of tiny explosions in front of myself on some wheels, we can get some shit done."
I'm saying.
And I was like, and if I was gonna be his buddy, I'd be like, "The fuck are you on?
Right.
And can you share?"
But I'm just saying, it's being a dead horse at this point. But everybody talks about it. It's just all about how you accept it.
Yeah.
It's you being able. Here's the thing, man. It took me till I was like, what was it, 29, 30 years old before realizing, hey, I love cars and I love creating videos. Maybe I should put those two together.
Right. I mean, shit.
I mean, I
realistically,
did it before,
Right.
but very, very,
And, like-
very little,
and, like-
and not realizing I should just do it.
Exactly, and then, like I've been there at varying degrees my whole life. Like I've drawn and like came up with stories and all my life, but it's just never been final. It's never
Right.
had like a final form, and it may not ever have a final form. In 6 months, I might be like, "Yo,
I'm saying,
VR
yeah,
is the fucking
yeah.
future, bro."
Well, here's
I need
the, and
to tell
that's
VR
and
stories.
that's the other thing that, funny enough, Matthew McConaughey says in his speech. He says it's when you figure out the things you're no longer wasting energy on that.
right.
All your energy is now focused. All that thing, everything that you wasted
Yeah.
energy on, all that comes together on the thing now that you know you are, that you want.
Yeah.
So
100%.
all that time, all that energy wasted, all that money,
Dude,
all is
how much
now
time
being
did I spend
focused in
building
that.
websites?
I'm saying, yeah.
Oh, and I just like.
Well, that was the other thing I was going to mention way earlier when this podcast first started.
We just tilted like we
We always had a creative aspect.
Yeah.
We just didn't know where it was going to end.
right. And my first thing was like, oh, I build websites. Like I can build websites for a living.
Right.
Like when somebody told me you can get a degree in making websites, I was like,
Yeah.
I've been doing that shit for 5 years,
Right.
For free,
Right.
You can get paid doing that shit.
That's what I'm
And
saying.
like that to me, because again, that wasn't the mentality of doing it for creativity. It was the mentality of doing it for money.
Yep.
And I was like, cool, let's do that. And then I followed that into its inevitable fucking frustration of going to school for graphic design and taking the same, like learning the same shit in graphic design school that I had learned in high school and
Right,
art class.
right.
And I'm just like, yo, I know this. Can we get to the real shit that makes me money?
Right.
You know, and it wasn't for creativity. It
right,
wasn't
it was
for
money.
passion. I was like, how do I make money?
It wasn't
some
for
shit
enjoyment.
that I know how to do.
It wasn't for enjoyment.
Right.
It was for the payoff.
It was gonna be, this is easy.
Right.
I know how to do it.
Right.
I'll make some money. It's gonna be light work.
Exactly.
And then, you know, my first big gig for websites was a dude who wanted like the fucking universe out of his fucking build, and I was like, cool, fuck it, let's do. I was like, listen, I don't think you should do this, but he's like, no, I really want this. All right, cool, fuck it, let's do it.
I'm gonna say one more thing from Matthew McConaughey, right? He said, I never understood those shirts that say no fear, right? Because he always has fear. He has fear standing in front of a crowd, sitting in front of a crowd, giving a speech. He has fear going in front of a camera, doing his lines, making himself look like an asshole in front of his crews, his members, audiences, whoever. And I'm like, that's true. There's always a fear to do something. Always. Just because you're able to go to your job and you're not afraid of it because you know how to do it, you're holding yourself back from it because you're afraid of the next thing. You're afraid of like, I want to do this, but maybe I'll fuck up. Well, take that chance. Don't be afraid. Like, be afraid, but don't be afraid to, fail. Don't be afraid to what will happen or what you think will happen, and do it. There's always fear. There's no such thing as no fear. Like, oh, I jump out of airplanes, no fear. Nah, but I bet you there's something there that bothers you.
Right.
I bet you can't stand in front of maybe a crowd and you present a speech.
Right.
But you can jump out of an airplane.
I am, when I'm in front of a group of people, people tell me, like, oh man, you're really good in front of a crowd.
Right.
Like when I was in speech class, people were like, oh, you did a great job up there. I was like, really? Because my heart was in my throat.
Dude, I was sweating. I was legit
like my
sweating.
heart was pounding harder than it ever has.
As a best man at Anthony's wedding, I was drenched. It was like I took a shower.
Like what happened?
But we're talking on camera that potentially has the capability of reaching the world,
right.
And it's like it's all about. And like I already told you, I was scared when we first started making videos. I didn't want to be in front of the camera.
Right.
I couldn't even record a review in front of you. And I know you're my friend, you're my blood, you're my cousin. I've been in front of you forever, but for some stupid reason, but for some dumb reason, I couldn't be in front of a camera in front of you.
Right.
And
but
you know what? But it didn't stop me.
Right.
I kept going with it, and now it doesn't matter. We just make videos. We throw up the camera, we talk to it. Now, don't get me wrong, I still have moments where I'm like, man, what is that person going to think if I rip out a camera and start talking to it, right? There is that mental state, but that's because people do still look at you weird, but you can't let that... Who cares what they think?
Honestly, I wonder where that's going to go in the future.
Right? Is there going to be just everybody's going to be...
Right, is everyone going to be
like
vlogging?
Everybody, just cameras out.
Can I tell you, 10 years ago when people were fucking Nextelling, most annoying shit in the universe.
Right.
Now people FaceTime while they drive.
Yeah, let's not talk about that.
And I'm just like...
Let's not talk about that.
Like, whether you FaceTime while they're at the store. Dude,
here's the thing. I don't give a crap if you FaceTime as long as you're not paying attention to the screen and only the other person's looking at you.
Bro, I watched, I was at a Panera.
Right.
This is when we were working on G-Shift.
Yeah.
The whole Deadweight crew was there. We're all working on 5 fucking computers.
Right.
We're all cranking away. And we just hear this entire conversation. Not from one side, but from both sides, because she's Skyping on full blast.
Wow.
And I was just like, you're in public.
Right.
I don't need to know what your auntie is doing.
Right.
This is weird.
I'm glad you don't care if people know your business, but at the same time, I don't necessarily need to hear it.
I don't want to hear it.
Right.
You are in a Panera, bro. What are you doing?
But I think that's it. That's it. Go do something. Go do something, whatever it is.
Figure out what you really want to do.
Whatever it is. Is it family?
TLDR, if you just fast forwarded to this, TLDR, figure out what makes you tick. Yeah. What can you...
Is it family? Is it health?
And listen, you might not have... religion? You might not have the answer. You might not have the answer right now.
It's going to take you a while.
If you are young, or even if you're old, and you just don't know, you don't have that answer... Yeah. You don't have to.
100%.
But try shit out.
100%. That right there is what I agree. I agree with Matthew McConaughey. I agree with what you just said. try things out and figure out that that's not it.
Yeah.
And then when you figure out until the end of time, when you figure out that it's not it, and you know finally what it is, you're gonna feel like $1 million.
If you are 87 years old and you've never felt passionate about anything in your life, I'm sorry. First of all.
Yeah.
Second of all, go to a clay pottery class.
Right.
It's one night.
It's one night.
If you don't like it, you don't like it.
You're done.
If it's calm and soothing, maybe that's the shit you need to be doing.
You want to work on your health? Go try a different bunch of workouts.
Yeah.
See which one fits for you. You might like cardio. You might like weightlifting. You might like yoga. Who knows?
I like a mix of everything.
Shit, you might like boxing, karate.
I really do like boxing.
See?
I think now we talk about that.
Damn, David.
When I go to your gym, he's got them bags.
He
I'd
does.
much
He's got
rather
them-
I'd
he's
much
got
rather
them-
be in front of them
He's got
bags
them
and
bags. He's got
fuck
that-
around for like an
the
hour.
speed bag.
I'd rather fuck around for an hour in front of those bags than get on a treadmill for
That's
20
one of
minutes.
the best workouts in life, my man.
Much rather get in front of those bags for an hour than get on a treadmill for 30 minutes. No fucking joke. I just realized.
You know what? We're gonna finish it off on a different note. I said what our new favorite laptop is. It was a good laptop. It's a great laptop. I can't wait to buy one. You know what else is my favorite thing? These headphones from HyperX. Some of the best headphones
You
you'll
wipe
ever.
these off. I'm greasy.
Some of the best headphones. So nice.
Definitely need to wipe those off.
So nice. One of the best headphones you ever put on your head. And detachable mic. No mic. And I can just go grab it out of my bag, put it in, now I got a mic.
Here's
Oh, it's all good, dude. I got a shirt that's going in the wash.
I feel bad. I'm greasy.
But
Greasy.
yeah, we're gonna end there.
We're gonna call it there.
We're gonna call it there.
Thank you, everyone, for watching in the future. For those of you that joined us live, thank you for hanging out with us.
Always. Big Smoke, we're gonna shout you out every
Big Smoke,
time.
Big
'cause
Smoke
every
is the man.
damn
Fennec
time,
Media
man.
on Twitch, Fennec Media on YouTube.
Yeah,
Check
guys,
the boy
check
out.
him
Micro
out.
Fennec on Twitter. Get at the boy. He's got a lot of funny shit going on. He's got a lot of cool stuff. He plays a lot of games. He's
Yeah.
more dedicated to Elite Dangerous than I ever will be. But I did promise him some time in Elite Dangerous, so one of these days we'll get
One
him
of
back.
these days. Listen,
But-
it's busy times.
It's busy times.
You know, 9 to
We
5.
just, we just talked about
just
four,
talked about
four,
it.
5, 6 videos.
Yeah,
So
at least.
So that's gonna be it for this one. Thank you for watching. Make sure you, I mean, I don't really care if you subscribe to this one, but jump over to youtube.com/T3G Media. Subscribe to that because that's where all the good shit's gonna be happening. This is where we do this.
Here's the thing. If you enjoy it, sure, subscribe to this. You enjoy this kind of stuff. You like people talking about crap, and subscribe.
Yeah, I do a semi-weekly Wednesday
If
show
you
about
don't,
comics.
here's the thing. If you don't like people talking about things, I don't know why you're still listening.
If you are at this point and you don't like this,
And it
fuck
says
are you-
podcast,
the
so
fuck are you doing? with
right,
your life at
and
this
it says podcast.
Were you like looking?
So
for the
why did
answer?
you click on podcast
Seriously?
and
Like
then
this-
you
anyway,
disliked
so-
it because you didn't realize it was
so
going to be a
So
podcast?
let's assume that you're 2 hours and 17
Very
minutes
long time.
in
Very long time.
on
It
this
was a great movie. It
broadcast.
was a great movie.
And yeah, you're
great
in,
film.
You've listened through this feature film, and you're thinking, what can I do to support these boys? Well, youtube.com/T3G Media, and that is where all the good shit that we've been talking about is going to go. Except for the MKC, that is going to be on our YouTube channel for our company, since that was kind of a company thing.
It was a company thing. I feel like it should
And I
belong
feel
on
like-
the.
and yours is going to be on your channel, but I think we could also put it up on X.
I think we can do it on both.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the other
Can't you
stuff.
can't you share? Can't you like make it like you put it on a YouTube channel, but then another YouTube channel like puts it like shares it directly to theirs, or like
I think that's a new thing. Yeah.
I feel like
a
you
new
could.
thing. I feel like.
Yeah.
And then you could like.
And if you
comment
can't,
back and
YouTube,
forth.
hit me up. We can talk.
No, I think that because I keep getting a notification that says there's new ways to share, and I just realistically, at the end of the day,